A pleasant good evening to you as we welcome you inside the Sozo Therapy Press Box at Bellbank Park from the Legacy Sports Complex in Mesa, Arizona. Tonight, live on the CMX Network, it is the AZCFL Game of the Week for Week 12 as we present to you the 2022 AZCFL Semifinals as the number 3 seeded 9-2 South Phoenix Runnin' Rebels do battle with the number 2 seeded 10-1 Arizona Canes. Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin Derryberry, and joining me in the broadcast booth, filling in for the great Cody Cameron, is Lucas Mensner. Tonight's 2022 AZCFL semifinal playoff game is powered by Cactus Fuel Drinks, refueling tomorrow's athlete, keeping the athletes hydrated without all the sugar. Cactus Fuel. Lucas, the Canes and the Rebels next up on the playoff slate, and when you begin to talk about these two teams, we must begin with the Canes standout dual threat signal caller, their quarterback, KV Provci.
Indeed, just a truly dual threat kind of guy. Adds a new dimension to the offense, allows the Canes some run, pass option, some running options themselves. He's a true dual threat guy, and he's got a great touchdown to interception ratio as well. He doesn't turn the ball over. He's a great guy to have in your locker room and an even better athlete.
900 total yards for KP. He's spent some time working through a suspension, so he's got fresh legs. He's healthy, and as you mentioned, that touchdown to interception ratio, it's pretty gaudy. Provci with 10 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions for him, but 900 total yards shows you the propensity for him to really be a threat with his legs, and he's an excellent threat with his legs.
Yeah, true story. He can run and he can throw. That's the great part about him. But I think he has speed that is just unaccounted for sometimes. And he can really take off when he gets into the open field. And I would look for a lot of runs to the edge for him. If you get him some space, he is going to give the Canes some serious yards.
He's got weapons to work with. Kenny Mitchell will be one of his leading ground gainers behind him. He also has Phil Ross, the one-time Outlaw. And how about the Outlaws with a huge upset win as they took apart the Spartans here earlier tonight. We have got one part of that championship bracket solidified with this with the winner of today's game, and that's the Outlaws. So you look at the other side of the coin here for the Runnin' Rebels, and it begins with their signal caller, and that is one of the better, kind of an unkept, kind of a secret really here in the league, and that is Akil Abdullah, a one-time Valley Vista product. Abdullah, he too, another outstanding playmaker. He's a dual threat guy. He extends plays with his legs. He's got a strong arm, and he too has a lot of playmakers around him.
Right, not as definitely dual threat. We don't think of dual threat as much as we do with Abdullah as we do with KP, but I really like this guy's arm. I think, like you said, the arm strength, I think he brings a lot of accuracy to the table. I think he usually is very good at hitting his receivers in stride, and I think that will help the Running Rebels have a chance against a very, very tough Canes team tonight.
Abdullah, a 46.9% passer from a completion percentage perspective, a number that you might want to see over 50. Anything north of 45, you start to say that this is okay, but you can improve there. He's also got some downfield threats as well, and he has an incredible offensive line. I tell you what, that might be the best part of the game when you talk about the Runnin' Rebels, just how they play with physicality on both sides of the football.
Definitely. They definitely are going to bring it to you, whether it's their front 7 or those big 5 guys up front. They're going to bring it to you, and they're going to bring it to you hard. So I expect a good mix of run and pass, and I expect those linemen to kind of get unlocked and activated. I'm sure the Rebels are going to let them pull and trap and do some other things to kind of throw off the front 7 of the Canes, which is just unreal. They're like a bloodhound. You can't throw them off the scent. It's hard. They are just so stout and so good all around.
Saturday, April 2nd, the Rebels lost 10-6 to the Canes. Since that point, the defending champions have reeled off 6 consecutive wins. And I talked with Coach Charles Adams before the game, and he was pumped up. He was very poised. He's ready to go. He said his team had a great week of practice. And I asked him about the game between the Outlaws and the Spartans. He said it did not surprise him at all, but he had a game to focus on, and it was about the task at hand, and that's the Runnin' Rebels and their opportunity to knock off off the Arizona Canes, who only have lost one time. And for the Rebs, they've lost twice, but they want to have a chance at redemption on that loss 6 weeks ago.
I think this is probably the best shot to do it through. In the semifinals, your chance to punch a ticket to the playoffs, there's no motivation needed. The stakes couldn't be higher. I'm expecting another good one.
I'll tell you what, we have semifinal action coming up right here on the AZCFL CMX Broadcast Network. Kevin Derryberry alongside Lucas Metzner. Don't go away. We've got semifinal football straight ahead. We welcome you back inside the Sozo Therapy Press Box. Kevin Derryberry alongside Lucas Metzner. Lucas, great ball game that preceded this one here. We've got the nightcap tonight, the semifinal, the marquee matchup of the night, the Rebels and the Canes. But earlier in the day, a kickoff at 4 o'clock, we had Sparty, the Arizona Spartans, taking on the Arizona Outlaws. And I tell you what, they did not disappoint. Last time I saw the score was 20-13. I think that's how it went final. But the Outlaws, they came to play today.
Yeah, that was I was able to watch this one. That was the most impressive offensive performance I have seen from the Outlaws the entire year. They finally had it all clicking. They had a great play call. Rico McNeil, the quarterback, was throwing the deep balls really well. Finally connected with Assure McMillan on 2 deep passes today. And their ground game is solid as ever with Ben Williams leading that charge. And the Spartans had a really devastating blow to the point of the impact player of last game, Assure McMillan, with not a lot of time left. It was about 30 seconds left in the first half, and the Outlaws had the ball around midfield. They chose a one-high safety look and one-on-one coverage to Assure McMillan, who was pretty much faster than any cornerback in this entire league, and he torched him by a few steps, tackled at the 1, timeout, gather yourself, run a 1-yard run play into the end zone. And that made all the difference, as the only score in the second half was 1 Spartan touchdown, and that was it.
Outlaws defense prevails. They slowed down the pass game of the Spartans late in that fourth quarter, and their defense stood tall, and they got it done. You mentioned Assure McMillan. That is, I spoke to Assure. Spock is a character on the science fiction thriller Star Trek, and so that's where Spock comes from. But my guy, Assure McMillan, he wears number 1. I spoke to him before the game. 3 catches for 90 yards, none bigger than that catch in the play that he made just before halftime. Went over the top, caught it. They caught him at the 1. Great defensive play there by Sparty. But it was plays like that McMillan was able to get over the top, finding success with Rico McNeil. And they talk about Ben Williams, maybe the truth, right? This young man at 38 years of age defies the odds, playing semifinal pro football, and he was dynamic today. Big game, over 100 yards rushing for him, and he propelled that Outlaw offense to get it done with big-time blocks up front. The offensive line powered their way through this semifinal victory here today.
Yeah, I was quite impressed with the Outlaws' offensive line. They really paved some holes for Ben Williams. Had a lot of gap pulls and traps and all other sorts of stuff with the O-line moving to get them to the outside and get them some room. And they really worked the edge that game.
Captains for tonight's game for the Arizona Canes. Their first captain will be number 5, Trumaine Smith. One other captain will be KP. That's number 2, Cordell Prochi. He's also a captain. They go to the big fella, J.R. Kenny. He's a captain. And their other captain this evening will be the offensive lineman, Chris Gabaldon. He's the center. He makes all of the calls on that offensive line. He is the heartbeat of that O-line. We're talking about Chris Gabaldon. Those are the 5 captains, or in this case, the 4 captains for the Canes. 10-1. They're a 2 seed here as we are ready to present the colors, and here's tonight's national anthem. We welcome you back inside this Sozo Therapy press box. Kevin Derryberry alongside Lucas Metzer, captains tonight for the 9-2 South Phoenix Running Rebels. First captain tonight is Shane Johnson. He will be wearing number 5. Double force Kevin Newell. This kid is an absolute stud. He is going to be a name that we will say throughout the evening. Double force Kevin Newell. He's their leading tackle and tackler for the Phoenix Running Rebels. He's a captain tonight. Also, a captain will be Guy Brown, one of their leading wide receivers. And then Dwight Gillibert, also another standout defensive player, 16 tackles, second on the team in tackles. The Running Rebels and the Arizona Canes at center stage here, Lucas. We've got a dandy on paper for us. Kind of a blustery, kind of a soft wind. There's a breeze here to the stadium. The field conditions are absolutely immaculate. Of course, we're now in week number 12 playing on the big field here. They play soccer on this field as well, among other sports, but football has taken the priority of the usage of this field. And you see some wear marks towards the center of the field, as you normally would, but the surrounding areas of the field, the playing conditions are fantastic, and it's a dry surface here tonight too, Lucas.
For sure. Getting the sun to go down, the lights are coming on, the field was prepped for today. It is exciting times as we are getting moments away from deciding who will be meeting the Outlaws in the 2022 AZCFL Championship.
In somewhat of an interesting arrangement here to begin the game, both teams are going to line up in that proverbial soccer circle to just kind of go over the ground rules of the game here and just discuss sportsmanship, camaraderie, and the idea that we have a commitment to one another here tonight, let alone the people that are working this game in the surrounding areas, the people that are watching this game globally from afar, guys like the commissioner of the league and the owner of the league, guys like Matty Archer, people that have given of themselves, a selfless act to put this league together. We've seen some challenges over the last couple of weeks, Lucas, but the fact that we are on air tonight is a true blessing for not only you and I, it's a privilege, but the fact that we're going to play tackle football in the AZCFL is it's really a good sign.
Quite thrilling. We were able to witness a very physical, very tough game last game with no incidents or incursions. I think this meeting is one for the better to remind them that play hard, play fast, play with controlled emotion, but at the end of the day, it's a game and it's not worth the extracurricular activity.
The Rebels, winners of 6 consecutive games. They're playing their best football at the right time of the year. And for the Canes, with that one blemish all season long, they have also won 4 in a row after last week's 48-0 thumping over the Titans. It's the Running Rebels and the Arizona Canes at center stage coming up next on the AZCFL semifinal game of the week on the CMX network. We welcome you back inside this social therapy press box. Kevin Derryberry alongside Lucas Metzner. It is Stefan Spaniel ready to begin things. The ball is placed in between the hash marks at the 35-yard line. Spino is a southpaw kicker, back deep to receive for the Arizona Canes. Our standouts, kick returner number 10, Kevin Goudreau, and watch out for 21, Tim Smith. He's a burner. It's a short kick, taken at the 20, 25, 30, bouncing to the outside, up the edge, and taking on a tackler around the 35-yard line. Nice return by the Canes. It looked as though the return man there was wide receiver and a stud at that, as Arlonzo Simpson on the return and making the special teams tackle right out of the gate of the Rebs. Double force, Kevin Newell right there putting a pop on the return man Simpson at the 35-yard line, and that's where the Canes will go to work with their starting quarterback, KP Cordell Proche.
Yeah, great work staying in his lane, making the tackle, but I think an even smarter move by the Rebels to squib that one, let your defense get to work. Don't let a return swift the momentum in this one early.
They don't want to have anything to do with defensive back Tim Smith, also playing on special teams. Out of the pistol, it's KP Proche. They want to run it the first time, and they run it with a big hole to the left side. And running the football for the Canes was Deuces. That's going to be Greg Dotstry. Dotstry coming off a huge game last week in that 48-0 triumph. 15 totes, 154 yards and 3 touchdowns. And you saw a nice hole working on that left side. The Canes left tackle is Daryl Dobbins, and he was able to create a big hole in the early going. That's a 5-yard gash for the tailback Dotstry, picking up right where he left off last week.
Solid pistol look, and it was a smart one to get 5 yards to perfection right there.
For the Rebs, it was Kyle Contreras up there to make the tackle defensively. They run it to Dotstry again. Breaks the tackle to 40. 45's got the first down after a 7-yard run. And going along for the ride for just a moment there was Peanut Tapa. And that's a 7-yard run. Back-to-back totes for Dotstry. 2 carries, 12 yards, and a 1st and 10 for the Canes, working right to left as they are clad in their black uniforms, dark green jerseys, and their orange numerals, and for the Rebs wearing their home whites, if you will, as the Rebs actually a 3 seed. They were not able to select the uniform tonight. It was the Canes that dictated the uniform control here, and it's the Rebs wearing their all-white uniforms trimmed in black and red with red numerals. Breaking the huddle and lining up on the far side is Phil Ross, a one-time Outlaw. This will be a design run. Proche to the outside. Breaks a tackle, and he broke a big tackle there in Kevin Newell, as Kevin Newell broke containment there as that linebacker came in there, and he had a chance at the tailback, but it was Proche using the edge blockers to get positive yardage there and outran Kevin Newell.
Direct quarterback run right there. Really amazing stuff. In the formation was Brian Hoskins, the fullback, playing in H-back position, about a yard off of your guard or your tackle, depending, and he comes up with a great lead block, making sure KP has the way to gain the yards he could right there.
Another guy we're going to see an awful lot defensively here is Tyler Molesky. He wears number 4. 4-yard gain for Proche. They run it again, and there's nothing doing this time. Shooting the gap right there for the Rebs was Dylan Alderman. Alderman was the team defensive MVP, and he just picked up his 16th TFL of the season as he was able to shoot the gap. A gap blitz right there, and that was Dylan Alderman right there knifing through there and picked up the defensive stop. A loss of 4 on the tailback Dotstry.
Amazing job to blow up the run right there, forcing the Canes to possibly move away from their identity here on 3rd and 10.
Correction, previous carry, that was University of Texas Kenneth Mitchell. And the ball is thrown towards the numbers, in and out of the hands of Kevin Goudreau. So a nice ball there by KP Proche, but the ball was dropped by Goudreau. Over there for the Rebs, one defensive player was Dwayne Phillips. He was in there lurking. Also was Cameron Scroggins, the one-time Phoenix College Bear, over there defensively. So now the Canes, in a scoreless ball game, first quarter action, will face a 4th down and 10, and it looks as though that head coach James Fisher is going to punt the football away.
Yeah, kind of forced into it early, really priding himself on the identity of a power running football team. Not an ideal situation for them on 4th and 10. They'll flip the field position and see what that elite defense can do.
The punt snap is back. The punt is away, and it's going to be a short punt. It'll be marked out of bounds around the 37-yard line. And for Luke Trudy, did not get off his best punt right there. He's also their place kicker.
Yeah, having a designated special teams kicker is a little rare in this league, but the Spartans have one, the Canes have one. Normally the best teams in this league make sure to find themselves a kicker. Trudy going back there to punt, looked like it went off the side of his foot. Not ideal at all, and the running Rebels are poised in beautiful field position at the 36-yard line.
It'll be the first possession of the night for the South Phoenix running Rebels. Their quarterback is Akil Abdullah. And for Abdullah, he'll wear number 10. 6'4", dual threat quarterback, and they run it right down the middle of the football field. First carry of the game for the Rebels. And that was Caleb Cobb. We mentioned that he would be the starter tonight for Charles Adams. Cobb, 23 carries for 53 yards, a 2.3 average. That's unofficial numbers. Last week in the victory for the Rebs, he had 5 totes for 11 yards. Starts this game off with a nice run. Positive yardage. They'll give him 2 on that power run, trying to run right behind the center. And the center of the night for the running Rebels is the big fella, number 77, Anthony Reyes. Second down and 2, working out of the pistol is Abdullah. Play fake, throws left. The ball's going to be caught, and short of the first down is the wide receiver. Nice defensive play up there for the Canes. That was Trumaine Smith, and he was able to keep the wide receiver short of the necessary line to gain. That was Michael Harris. First catch of the game for Harris. Gave him about a 3-yard reception, but a nice defensive play there by Trumaine Smith. Ball hawking there, Lucas, as he was able to get to the ball carrier and keep him and deny him of the line to gain.
Yeah, good out route right there, but just short of the line to gain. It forces a crucial 3rd and 1.
3rd and 1 for Abdullah. They'll run it to the left side, and there's nothing doing. Great defensive work by the right side of the Canes defensive front. In there to make a big-time play, moving bodies around, was J.R. Kinnikini. And for Kinnikini, outstanding defensive play.
One of the captains for a reason, anchoring that defensive line, and one of the leaders of that stout front 7, getting in there, shedding his block quickly to make a play right in the A-gap as they try to run up the middle. And the Rebs don't want to go anywhere quickly. They're going to decide to go for this one.
Charles Adams at least shows he wants to go for here in the early going. This is 4th and 1 from the 45-yard line. Abdullah at quarterback out of the pistol formation. Snap is back. Wants to throw the football. Here comes the pressure. Evades the pressure. He's going to run for the first down, and he's going to have it as he just scampers out of bounds at midfield. Applying some pressure from the outside, at least creating an adverse scenario for the Canes. That was Paramore Peanut Tapa. He was coming from the edge. There was also another lineman there applying some pressure. But for Abdullah, great poise in the pocket. Recognized the defensive secondary was on lockdown and just kind of scrambled for that extra yardage to move the sticks. He needed 2. He got 2. And the ball's now placed at midfield. Working left to right are the South Phoenix Running Rebs. 8:33 to go. Opening quarter. Scoreless football game. This is the 2022 AZCFL semifinal. Canes showing blitz. Here they come. The throw to the outside. The ball's going to be caught. Nice delivery of the football there by Abdullah. Making the catch, his second of the game. That's Michael Harris. And he's brought down immediately with great coverage there by Perry Morrow.
Michael Harris showing you right away that he's got the mastery of the out route down. 2 quick ones right away. He's really good at breaking his hips down at the top of the route and just spurting towards the sideline, making himself available so Abdullah can make a nice pass right into his chest.
Unofficially heading into the game for Michael Harris, just 3 receptions for 14 yards, and he already has 2 receptions here in this football game, good for 8 yards. This will be a 2nd and 4 from the Canes 44-yard line. We're going to have our first timeout taken as James Fisher will talk things over. James Fisher, the head coach for the Arizona Canes at 10 and 1. For the Canes, Lucas, they have outscored the opposition 328-63 in their 10 victories. That's a plus 265. That's a gaudy number right there.
Yeah, their point differential is absolutely absurd. Always less than 10 points a game allowed. They're so prided on that defense that their offense is good, but the defense is always elevated to such a better level that it's going to be very, very exciting to see if these guys can continue to put the stop on the Rebels or if the Rebels can get something moving here.
Lucas, I'll tell you what's exciting for us. How about big fella, number 66? That's our guy down there. That's Zachary Elvira. We'll see Zach on the potentially playing some right guard here tonight. He'll also play on the D-line, a one-time Highland Hawk. And for Zachary Elvira, I say he's one of our guys because he is. He does some writing for us. He's our lead. He's our senior correspondent and our senior writer for the AZCFL. But Zachary has that bug and that itch to play football, and there he is down there in the right guard spot for the big fella. And we're encouraged and stoked to see the big guy down there on the field. Zach Elvira at right guard. Abdullah takes the snap, throws downfield. The ball's going to be caught at 30, 25, 20, and he's going to be chased down on the far sideline. Touchdown saving tackle there by Marquise Bray, Sr., and an excellent reception on the far side as the Rebs wide receiver got loose. That's Guy Brown, his 28th catch of the year. And for Guy Brown, he got loose in that secondary, but Bray, a nice recovery there to, again, prevent him from scoring a touchdown. He was absolutely him in the end zone, and that was it.
For sure. Good saving tackle, but I think Abdullah just made that play happen. Just being such a threat, he pulled Tim Smith out of position, leaving his receivers so open. So his dual threat is making a presence early.
Unofficially, a 22-yard pass play. Abdullah steps through the pocket. There goes Akil. Makes a move at the 12. Cuts it back inside the numbers around the 10, and he's going to be spilled over at that point there. Going back to the previous play, 22 yards unofficially. Guy Brown, who's coming off a 2-touchdown performance last week. 5 catches for 64 yards. And then an impressive run and Rebs victory. Another nice run there by the very fleet of foot Abdullah. So he'll pick up 6. And the ball will be placed on the Canes' 10-yard line. And that is where the Running Rebels will break the huddle. Lining up on the outside is Tariq Smith Jr., one-time South Mountain Rebel. Back about, 8, 9 years ago for Tariq Smith. One of the better receivers on this team now. High snap. They run it to the tailback. This time it's Caleb Cobb. And Cobb's going to find some room on that left side. Let's get you the lineman up front for the Rebs, Lucas. The left tackle was 5'2". That's Larry Flores, a one-time ACU Firestorm. The left guard is former Boise State and Mountain West product, Dimitri Suave. He wore number 73. The right guard is Corey Washington wearing 69. The right tackle is Tomas Gutierrez. And then the big fellow, we mentioned the center already, 7'7", Anthony Reyes.
Those guys get it done. They've been doing a good job so far this season. Let's see if it can continue tonight in the semifinal.
Abdullah, 2 wide receivers to his left, to the right, from the pocket. The pocket collapses. Abdullah's going to scramble. He wants to throw, and he's going to stay on his feet, tuck it, and run it into the end zone for a touchdown. Akil Abdullah starts the scoring here in this semifinal game, and it's the South Phoenix Running Rebels drawing first blood as Akil Abdullah scores from, it looked like 10 yards away. That's a 10-yard touchdown run for Abdullah, his 4th rushing touchdown of the season, and the Running Rebels score first.
Yeah, I'll tell you, his decisiveness and IQ are really being displayed right now. He's very decisive. He knows when it's time to throw, and he knows when it's time to run. That's a great trait to have in a dual-threat quarterback, and it's making the Running Rebels offense very, very dangerous early in this one.
We'll say unofficially for Abdullah, an 8-yard touchdown run, his 4th of this, make that his 3rd of the season. And for Abdullah, he's quickly on his way to over 300 yards rushing on the season. And now it'll be Charles Adams' team with a 6-0 lead with 5:19 to go, opening quarter, out of the pistol with trips to the near side. They're going to go for 2. Abdullah's going to be dropped, and he's going to go down on that 2-point conversion attempt.
And that's like what I was saying earlier with the designated kickers. Don't believe the Running Rebels have one. Forced to try and go for two early, see if they can pull off the 8-point lead, but pocket collapsed too quickly, and an impressive effort by Abdullah just to get a throw off, but that one was not going anywhere.
Trumaine Smith in the middle once again wreaking havoc. So the 2-point conversion attempt is unsuccessful. 5:19 to go, opening stanza. Rebels 6, Canes 0. And Lucas, a very, very impressive first drive of the game for the Running Rebels. Charles Adams, their head coach, 9-2. I mentioned how the coach was very well poised before the game. He was pumped up. He was excited. His team was healthy, and they thought they had a chance to win today's game, and they really think they have a chance to go back-to-back and win this league in the second consecutive years. So a nice first drive of the game by Akil Abdullah. He was able to throw the ball a couple times. He mixed it up to 2 or 3 different receivers, and they ran the ball well. So that's great balance for Coach Adams' team.
Yeah, you don't want nothing more, or you can't ask for much more than maybe the 2-point conversion. That's what you call punching them in the mouth. They got the stop early and responded quickly with the score. Can't ask for much more.
Here comes Spino on the return now. This is Phil Ross. Phil Ross to the outside of the 30, and Ross is going to be pushed out of bounds around the 40-yard line. On the pursuit and special teams once again was Kevin Newell. And you've got two really outstanding 44s here. Not to get one confused with the other, but Kevin Newell, 12 tackles for the Running Rebels. The other 44, that's Dominic Brooks, 18 solo tackles for the Canes, 39 total tackles on the year, 11 behind the line of scrimmage, 6 sacks, coming off a 7-tackle game. It's the other 44, the Canes 44. He, too, is in that dude category, Lucas.
Yeah, he anchors the linebacking core. They are bound to him. They follow him in his direction. He's good at getting his guys in the right position. He hits hard, and he's good at making the tackle for sure.
Alonzo Simpson lines up to the near side. Pass going to be thrown out in the flat. Intended target was Arturo Macias. He was the quarterback who started this game in the previous meeting back on April 2nd. So Macias, playing tight end, drops the KP Proji pass. And if you took your eyes off Macias, the tight end, right behind him that you might have picked up in your camera angle there, running a slant was Alonzo Simpson. He was wide open, had a chance to catch that football. He might still be running. So no gain, 2nd and 10 from their own 35-yard line. This is a run play. Running it right and with little room to go for the Canes. Looked like the ball carrier was, we'll double check. It looked like it might have been Brian Hoskins.
It would appear so. Or
Kenneth Mitchell was also in the area. But if that was the first carry of the game for Hoskins, here's what we do know. It was a net gain of 1 yard. If that forward progress will allow that yard. Remaining in at tailback, flank to the left of KP Prochi is Kenneth Mitchell, one-time UT product. Mitchell, 417 yards, leads the team in rushing. They set up a screen to Simpson. Simpson makes a catch at the 35-yard line, splits through the defense, carries it across the 40-yard line, out to the 43, and that is where the Canes will be marked short. It'll be a 3rd down. Let's see if it's now. It's going to be 4th down and 2. And does James Fisher, down by 6, want to roll the dice? Ball's placed at the Canes' 43-yard line. So they need a what we would call a long 2 here, Lucas. And it looks as though that the Canes are going to line up and go for it. Ross will be shadowed across the far side of the field by Eddie Fluker, an outstanding defensive back. So now
looks
the
like
Canes
will think things here.
So now the Canes are going to take a timeout. 3:06 to go as the wheels are spinning here in quarter number 1. It's 6-0. Rebels have the lead. We'll take a quick timeout. You're watching the AZCFL 2022 semifinal on the CMX network. We welcome you back inside the Sozo Therapy press box. Kevin Derryberry alongside Lucas Metzner. 4th down and 2 as the Canes at least look like they're going to go for it. And this will be a design run, and getting the first down was the ball carrier, Mitchell, and he got absolutely popped. It looked like from the secondary, Rebels defensive back DeAndre Moore belted the ball carrier. In this case, it was Kenneth Mitchell. And Mitchell needed 2. He got 2.5. But he took a shot by the defensive back, DeAndre Moore.
Mitchell received that punishment, but for a good purpose, getting that first. Smart timeout by Coach Fisher, rethink things over, and get the play to get it done. The drive stays alive.
Gudo lines up to the near side. In the slot to the right is Arlonzo Simpson. Outside of him is Phil Ross. This will be a pass play from Prochi. Feels the pressure. He tries to escape the pressure. He throws on the run, and the ball is going to be batted down. And that ball will fall incomplete. Applying some heat, among others, Kevin Newell was in the vicinity. Nico Thompson also was there applying some pressure. And I don't know who got a hand on it, but I want to guess it was Shane Johnson. Lucas, what'd you see?
I think Nico Thompson got his big paw in there to get it disturbed. He was chasing KP all the way from the line of scrimmage in good pursuit right there. That's who I believe got the swat. He looked pretty pleased after the play as well.
Ross again will line up to the far side. Defending him will be Eddie Fluker, and he'll show up in press coverage. Rebels showing blitz on a run play. They run it to Dotsry. He's going to get grabbed in the backfield and thrown down for a loss. Shooting the gap right there was Dwight Gillibert. And Gillibert, with a big-time defensive play, give him a TFL. That'll be a loss for Dotsry, and the Canes now will face a 3rd down, and we'll call it 11 from their own 45-yard line after getting a fresh set of downs after going for it on 4th down and 2.
The running Rebels doing an amazing job on defense, putting the Canes exactly where they don't want to be. 3rd and 10 for a running football team, and the running Rebels have been playing good gap sound football, loading the box when they need to. I like what I see from the defensive side of the ball.
Gilbert with that 17th tackle that leads the team. Prochi, deep ball, far sideline. The ball is going to be picked off. It's intercepted by the Rebels. Picking the ball up on the far sideline. This is our guy again. This is going to be DeAndre Moore, far sideline, 40, 30 with a cavalry. Leads blockers, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds inside the 25-yard line.
Very late flag coming in around midfield. I wonder how much this is going to affect this one.
Going back on it, it looked like it was a single digit, and we stand corrected with the interception on the far side of the field. That was Eddie Fluker. And for Fluker coming off a very impressive season, the league defensive MVP 1 season ago, 13 tackles heading into play. Penalty marker back on the 46-yard line, as Lucas mentioned to you. And let's sort this one out. Penalty markers on the far side of the field as well. So the Rebels realize this one's coming back. More than likely, Lucas, the old block in the back on that return, but you have to like the athleticism of Eddie Fluker, as he was there to not only go and flag that ball down like he's playing center field, but that was an errant KP Prochi pass.
Yeah, just too much mustard on that one. Thought he saw something, had a receiver streaking down the field, and the defensive back, Eddie Fluker, just playing better, playing, that good safety role, pressing back, waiting, and then became the receiver himself, making that catch over the shoulder to turn this ball over.
Interested in partnering with CMX? Contact them via any of their social media outlets at Cactus Media X. Cactus Media X.
Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, those would be the go-tos.
So after the penalty is marked off, the Fluker interception stands. And for Prochi, just his 3rd interception of the season against 10 touchdown passes. Lights starting to take effect here out at the Bellbank Park here at the Legacy Sports Complex. This is the 2022 AZCFL semifinal on the CMX network. Rebels get the ball back. They've got a 6-0 lead. And for the Canes, they got to play some defense. They got to slow down Akil Abdullah and this balanced offensive attack. And they run it up the middle. Working on that left side of the line of scrimmage was the ball carrier. And for the first carry of the evening, That is John Hendricks. Hendricks, 15 carries, 42 yards and a touchdown on the season. Had 9 yards on 3 totes in last week's game, and he picks up about 5 yards right there, running right behind the center, Lucas. That's a great first down play, just being very conservative, but getting big yardage right off those push blocks up front.
I'm surprised right now. The running Rebels are beating the Canes at their own game. Slightly different schemes, but same concept, and they're beating them at it.
Full wide receiver package for Abdullah. Deep ball, far sideline. Has a wide receiver there, and the ball is going to be in and out of the hands of the intended target. For the Rebs, streaking down the sideline was Tariq Smith Jr. And providing the coverage for the Canes, stride for stride, was Trumaine Smith, the defensive back. And I love the size of Trumaine Smith. Big dude, has that linebacker size, but is fleet of foot to play cornerback here in the AZCFL. And that was outstanding coverage on the outside.
Yeah, he was with his receiver stride for stride. Maybe the receiver had a step on him, but once that ball came in, he got his left hand up there, hit him with the elbow or the hand, knocked it incomplete, forcing a 3rd and 5, but I think we'll get a timeout first.
The timeout comes because quarter number 1 is ancient history. Our first quarter is in the books as the Rebels lead it 6-0. You're watching the Arizona Cactus Football League's Game of the Week on the CMX Network. Back after the short timeout. Touchdown scamper from Akil Abdullah. 2-point try was no good. And here we are, a fresh 15 on the Long Jeep scoreboard, working right to left now are the South Phoenix Runner Rebels. Rebels are the Canes, a 2-seed and a 3-seed. Great action here early on a balmy evening. Povchi, check that. That's Abdullah to the outside. Boy, that was kind of a wounded duck pass. He was looking to get the ball in the hands of Martin Two Jr. Over there providing coverage for the Canes was TJ Downs. And keyword there is down, because now we're looking at 4th down. And for the Running Rebels, they're going to get rid of the football, or at least line up to look that way. Back deep for the Canes in punt return duty is Tim Smith. In the last 2 games, Timmy Smith has 3 touchdowns. He has 2 pick sixes and a punt return for a touchdown. So Tim Smith, coming off that injury, 3 scores in a couple of weeks. Lucas, he's big play.
Impressive work. A guy that the Canes need on their squad. We've been talking about special teams throughout the year and how important it can be. We've really focused on kickers, but man, how important is a dangerous returner?
Spino's punt, it's high, it's end over end, and it's short. It bounces at 31, takes a huge carom. That's a Running Rebel. Well, that's an Arizona Cane type of carom. So with 14:10 to go on a change of possession, the Canes will run KP Profchi back out at quarterback. And for the Canes, let's get you their guys up front too. It's Daryl Dobbins, the left tackle. Left guard is Christopher Betancourt. The right guard is Rakeem Hicks. The center is Chris Gabaldon. The right tackle in this case will be, well, it was Ryan Schroeder, but I think we're going to see Aaron Joseph quite a bit this evening. 14:07 to go. Second quarter, Rebels with the lead on the Akil Abdullah 8-yard touchdown run. And here we are. Kevin Derryberry alongside Lucas Metzer bringing you all the action. Earlier in the day, the Outlaws took care of business and ended the season of the Spartans. And running the football on the edges of the field Nice run there by Dostry. And Dostry got a little momentum running downhill and then broke it outside by the numbers. And he was finally forced out of bounds. But how about that cutting and the agility shown you there by Greg Dostry, the other runner? So you've got Kenny Mitchell and Greg Dostry, and that 1-2 punch has been very impressive as they like to run the football and really utilize that time on the clock.
Yeah, quite the tandem those two are. They're really good at grinding for every yard possible. They have speed. They have size. They're a good pair, and they work well for the Canes offense.
Ball on the 42-yard line. They run it again to the left side. Penalty marker comes in. It was Dostry, the ball carrier. We get a couple of whistles coming in late. One guy for the Canes trying to plead his case. That is Rakeem Hicks. Temperatures in today's game right around 92 degrees at kickoff, but the temps with the light breeze in the area will have a chance to cool off as we gain and go throughout the night. We see a gentleman that is clad in all orange down on the Canes sideline, much like Mr. Orange of the Phoenix Suns. Maybe with all the makeup and all the pomp and circumstance with the mohawk hair and whatnot, but if you're familiar with Mr. Freeze, a guy in Major League Baseball, works for the Atlanta Braves, I believe, part of their
in-game entertainment?
Yeah, in-game entertainment is a great way to introduce that. Mr. Freeze, look him up. He is a guy that's an absolute burner. Fun sketch when they have him out there. All right, Prochi snaps the hands back. Football's in his hands. Ball is thrown over the middle. He wanted Goudreau. It was slightly behind him and nearly picking that one off for the Rebs. And who knows how he picked that one off, but Dwayne Phillips had a chance to intercept that football, maybe do something with it. And instead, we have a 3rd down and long here for Prochi and the Canes as the Running Rebels defense, who have won 6 consecutive games since they lost to these same Canes. They have played their best football in the last 6 weeks. They haven't lost.
Coming at the right time. And I'm going to sound like a broken record with the down and distance, but Rebels doing it again, forcing the Canes into another undesirable 3rd and long.
3rd and 15 for the 32-yard line. Dumped out in the flat with some room. It's Dostry, and Dostry trying to blow people up like a bowling ball, knocking pins all over the place, as that was a very physical run after the catch by Dostry. He's going to be well short of the 1st down marker, but nice little dump-off pass by Prochi, and Dostry again showing you his versatility and toughness running downhill. So he'll pick up about 8 positive yards there, but they'll be well short of the yard marker to move the stick. So this will result in a punting situation. At least, again, James Fisher will line up in punt formation.
Impressive work by the Rebel defense, forcing their first couple plays backward, then 3rd and long. They can play back, make the tackle, and get the football back.
Luke Trudy, the punter, gets this one away. It's Martin, Jr., back deep. Looks up into that high night sky. Fumbles it at the 20, and he's going to go down around the 25-yard line. Good special teams work there by the Canes. Excellent work in that gunner roll for the Canes. E.J. Hooks. And that's why you punt the football away, Lucas. You want to live on to play another down. You want to live on to play another quarter. And you want to stay in this game in this first half. And you know that the Canes, with the offensive weaponry that they possess, it's a matter of time. But you have to credit the Rebel defense to slow their attack here in the early going.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the Canes, I know it's very early, but I'm not sure if the Canes are going to be able to win if they keep trying to do what they're doing. They want to stick to their identity, and I can respect that. But the Rebels are countering with normally a 1st down 4-4 look in the box, playing gap sound football, eliminating the run early, and forcing the Canes into places they don't want to be.
So the Rebs going to work here, working right to left from their own 25-yard line, 1st and 10. Canes showing blitz from the outside. Here they come. It's a handoff up the middle with some space. With the football, the 40, 45, 50. It's a foot race down the sideline to the 40, and run out of bounds is Caleb Cobb, his best run of the night for the Running Rebels, and they are now in Canes territory after that huge dash for cash.
Yeah, what a run. They've been doing their simple play all night, either pistol or shotgun look, quick give, run right behind the tail of the center, And wow, what a hole was opened up by the line that time, giving him room to work. And despite the Canes just trying to flip the field position, that play just threw it all out the window.
Caleb Cobb unofficially a gain of 45 yards. 1st and 10. Run the Rebels from the Canes 30-yard line, already staked to a 6-0 lead. Breaking the huddle and lining up to the near side for the Rebs. Their wide receivers, Tariq Smith Sr., and in the slot to the left is Martin II Jr. Pistol formation here for Abdullah. Cobb remains in at tailback. Play faked him for a second. They throw left. The ball's going to be caught. And making the reception is Martin II Jr. And for Martin II Jr. running a gorgeous slant route, not only caught the ball in stride, was able to pick up some extra yardage before he was finally dropped down around the 15-yard line. That's a gain of 15 yards. 1st and 10, running Rebels. Akil Abdullah to Martin II Jr.
Yeah, the slant can be a thing of beauty or can be a really scary thing for receivers. Sometimes those receivers run some slants in the middle, and especially with the linebacking core the Canes have, they can get popped. They can get just absolutely demolished on a slant. But right there, finding a ton of open space, good pass, good catch, and some room to work for another first down.
Michael Harris all by himself at the 15-yard line. The nearest defender is on the 5. This is a run play up the middle, and here comes the Canes defense. You talk about a stone wall right there, getting it done for the Canes. Shooting the gap and then lowering the boom was Andrew Jones. Lowered the boom on Caleb Cobb. No gain for Cobb. And checking in for the Rebels, they're going to bring in their second tailback. This will be John Hendricks. And for Cobb, he set this all up with a 45-yard run. And, boy, going back to that play, that right guard, Corey Washington, really threw open a big hole by just punishing the defensive end that time. He was outstanding in run blocking. Great scheme. 6-0 Rebels with the lead. They're threatening again. 8:40 to go till halftime. In the red zone for the second time tonight is Akil Abdullah. Ball spotted on the 15-yard line of the Canes. 2nd and 10 for Abdullah in a full wide receiver package. Abdullah from the pocket. Feels the pressure. He throws towards the middle. The ball's going to be. It's intercepted. It's picked off by the Canes. The defensive back for Arizona creates the turnover, TJ Downs. And you have to credit the defensive line of the Canes. They turned up the dial on the blitz. Abdullah had all kinds of pressure in his face. He probably should have just eaten that one. Wanted to make a play, Lucas. Threw it wildly over the middle of the field. It was a wounded duck, and stepping in front of the wide receiver was TJ Downs, and he has himself a takeaway.
The captain, J.R. Kinnikini, out there leading the charge. I don't know if the Canes actually sent extra pressure, but those front 4 got to Abdullah in no time at all. And you're right, probably should have just eaten that one, lived to fight another down. Instead, he throws a blind pass he can't even see, and an easy lurk for TJ Downs right there. Canes have the football back. 8 minutes to go.
This is the Arizona Cactus Football League Game of the Week on the CMX Network, powered by a Cactus Fuel drink. After the takeaway for TJ Downs on the interception, Kevin Godot was trying to come on the field late, and Coach Fisher is going to be forced to have to take a timeout. So they'll be faced with a 1st and 10. Ball will be on the 7-yard line. And you go back to that last play, just too much pressure for the quarterback, in this case for Abdullah. You like his size at 6'4", but he was trying to throw the football over a bunch of redwoods. And as you mentioned, the obstructed vision right there, he had no chance to connect with that wide receiver. He was basically throwing on a feel, and you can't do that in the game of tackle football. It typically will result in a challenge. And the guys that make those kind of plays that we see on Sundays right now that do the no-look stuff, they're named Patrick Mahomes, and that's just a huge difference from what we're seeing here on this Saturday night.
Right, NFL, the cream of the crop. You're getting guys that are doing all sorts of ridiculous things every day, and we've seen a few plays, maybe a few ill-advised throws that you get away with, but that throw, he just went in completely blind. The defensive line obstructing his vision, and couldn't even get it to the target without that one being lurked.
Our referee this evening is Pat Wachowski. Our umpire is Anthony Miller. The line judge is Daniel Gaitan. The head linesman is Francisco Ruelas. The field judge is Jeff Vance. Spencer Shockness is our side judge. We'll get you the rest of the officials in a minute. Deep ball, far sideline. The ball is incomplete. He wanted Arlonzo Simpson. It was a jump ball. KP Profji wanted Simpson to the outside. He had single coverage of the numbers. Providing that coverage for the Rebs was Dwayne Phillips, the defensive back. And I'm not sure if Profji's feeling his game because it looked like Simpson had the secondary beat for a half a second, but great closing speed by Phillips. He was there to disrupt the play.
Yeah, good defensive effort right there. Getting the pass disrupted, making sure it wasn't caught. But I'm proud of the Canes for throwing it on 1st and 10. The Rebels have been throwing so many in the box, just trying to sell out on the run. I'm glad they switched it up, and maybe they can escape the end zone.
Three wide receiver package. They're going to run it on a design run by KP Profji, a little RPO. And for Profji, find some real estate in between the numbers and the hash marks, and he's going to be able to move the chains.
And that right there, we call that an inverted veer. You let either the D tackle or the D end unblocked. It's an option play where the running back is running vertical and the QB's option is, the running back's option is horizontal and the QB's option is vertical. That time, the D end was ready for the running back. KP pulls the ball, takes off for a good gain, gets the first down.
Needed 7, got 8. 1st and 10 on the legs of KP Profji. Working left and right. The Canes down by 6. 6:39 to go till halftime. This is a full wide receiver package for KP Profji. Long count, snaps a hand, snap is back. Here comes the pressure on the outside. Now he's going to tuck it and run. 20, 25, gets popped at the 25-yard line. Penalty markers come in, and there were 2 or 3 of them behind the play. In defensively was Keith Newell. Make it Kevin Newell, I beg your pardon. And for Profji, sometimes, Lucas, a quarterback just needs to take a couple of shots, and then they'll get ready to start to get in the flow of the game. It seems like Profji just has had a slow start to this one.
Yeah, a little bit of a slow start, and I think part of it comes with having to serve some time away from the field, not getting in the rhythm he wants every single week. But hopefully he can settle in. That run was a good one to get him started, knowing that he can be a threat in 2 phases of the game. Maybe his arm isn't working so good, so use his legs for the better, as it was indeed a holding. Last play there, Rebels came out in a 50 front, and every single offensive lineman was on an island for that pass play. The pressure just got there too quick.
Sometimes they call that zero coverage. Side judge is Spencer Shockness. The back judge is DJ June. And our center judge tonight is Hafa Federico. Special thank you to Tasai Burner watching tonight's game. In fact, where are you watching tonight's game from? Hit us on Twitter at KDB Voice and hit us with a hashtag roll call. Where are you watching tonight's 2022 AZCFL semifinal around the globe? There's another run, and this time they go back to the ground game for the Canes. It's 2-3, the ball carrier, Kenny Mitchell. They've been going to Dotstry and Mitchell this time had his number called. And they'll pick up positive yardage as they fight back towards the original line of scrimmage around the 18-yard line. We'll call it the 17 to be official. 2nd down and 10 from the 17 of the Rebs. Long count for Profji. Showing blitz off the edge. Here they come. And it's a handoff. Nice job by the ball carrier to dodge one would-be tackler. And then as he made a move, he got taken down. That was Profji, the original. He was the quarterback, and he wanted to put the ball in the hands of the tailback. Thought better of it. Tailback got munched by the blitzer. It looked like the blitzer coming from the outside was Eric Lopez.
Yeah, I think another option call right there.
It might have been Scroggins, I beg your pardon.
Got blown up as the pitch man, the guy who went unblocked, had basically taken out both in the same play.
Profji, sidearms one, deep ball, and that ball is incomplete. He wanted Phil Ross, threw into double coverage, and it was Martin, too, Jr. there to provide the coverage behind the play. Also in the vicinity was Eddie Fluker. So some of the fans looking for a pass interference.
I think a flag was thrown.
And I'll tell you this, the pressure up front coming from those bigs was impressive because Profji had to get rid of the football about half a second or two before he even wanted to release the football. He was waiting for Phil Ross to make one more break, couldn't allow that time, and had to throw the ball up into double coverage, and he overthrew everybody.
Phil Ross, one of the elite speed threats, one of the guys you can't have one-on-one. Just like earlier in this game, we saw, earlier in the day, the other game, we saw Assure McMillan torch up the Spartan secondary.
Phil Ross, 13 catches, 272 yards, and 5 touchdowns with a one-time outlaw. So after the penalty yardage,
and that flag called was a sideline infraction.
So that was Pat Wachowski explaining things to you. So the penalty against the Canes, the Rebels will just continue to push it back. So it started with a takeaway from T.J. Downs. And this running Rebel defense, they have posted multiple shutouts this season. And they're on their way to doing so again. When you think about shutouts, the Canes have 6. Rebels are right behind them. So they'll punt it away. And back deep is Fluker, and he's just going to get out of dodge. And down there to touch it is Christian Gaitan. About 93, going from one end of the field to the other. Defensive lineman get down there and making some inroads. Huge hustle for Gaitan. Change of possession once again on the punt. Rebels with the football, trying to pick up their 10th win of the season, 9-2 for Charles Adams.
Yeah, so the punt right there, good stuff from Luke Trudy to kind of flip the field position as time winding down in the second half. And that's the big thing, like I said earlier. Having a designated kicker can really help you flip this field position when the rest of your offense and defense have been struggling. Defense has recovered since the opening drive, but that Canes offense looking awfully sluggish tonight.
Luke Trudy unofficially a 53-yard punt, no return. 5, make it a 4 wide receiver package here for the running Rebels in Abdullah. They run up the middle again, and a big-time hole. That was the tailback. I will check the number. All right, we're going to Hendricks. So John Hendricks had his number called on that sequence, and you had to be careful because Caleb Cobb and Hendricks, they run very, very low to the ground. Both kind of those bowling ball kind of guys that just explode through the hole and apply an absolute punch when they deliver the stick. They look for contact to these guys. Their own version of thundering lightning. Caleb Cobb and John Hendricks, 5-yard run, 2nd and 5. From the Rebs' 48-yard line. They go back to the ground game again, working in that left side and trying to power his way and burrow for extra yardage was Hendricks. And getting low right there to make a tackle. Excellent tackle at that for the Canes was Sam Lorg, the middle linebacker there to get the stop, but he needed some help, Lucas. He had 3 other green jerseys right there to take him down.
Yeah, gang tackling has been a big message for the Canes defense. Got it done there, but not after relinquishing 8 yards through 2 plays right there. All it took from the running Rebels was a trap play, and then in a simple dive, I'm sure Coach Fisher, not happy with the Canes right now, just getting outmatched physically in the trenches.
Ball is on the Canes' 48-yard line, 3rd down and 2. Akil Abdullah with a message for his tailback. That's Hendricks. Working out of the pistol formation, 2-by-2 with the wide receivers. They're both stacked. They run it to Hendricks. He's got the 1st down. Excellent work by the tailback. It was a quick hitter. John Hendricks was able to pick up a couple of extra yardage. He needed 2. He got 4. Ball will be placed at the 45-yard line. Clock continues to roll. 2:02 to go to the break. It's 6-0 Rebels. And for the Rebels, they have had their offense on the field quite a bit in this first half. They've been able to dictate the pace, Lucas.
Yeah, time of possession, ball control, physicality. They've checked all the boxes here of a slow grinding win, and that defense is outdoing the Canes defense. This is a defensive showdown right here. So if you like big hits, you like front 7, you like the coverage being good, this is the game for you as these defenses are working tooth and nail to not allow anything.
We often discuss the idea of that next level. He's a next level player. Well, it's the next level because we're in the postseason. Well, we're seeing some next level type of athleticism out here tonight. The hit factor, there's some power. There's a lot of exuberance on the field. There's no question about that. And these guys are hungry, and we've got a great game. It's a hard-hitting contest. It's just 6-0 as the Rebels break the huddle. 2 minutes to go till halftime. It'll be Akil Abdullah to lead the way. One wide receiver to the near side. It'll be Tariq Smith as the officials will get themselves in position. Now we're going to have a slight pause here. There's a soccer ball in the end zone, and one other game official will casually head over there and literally walk over and pick up the other type of football. No hurry there, young man. Just take your sweet time. Abdullah will work from the 45-yard line, 1st and 10 from the Canes 45. Snap is back. Abdullah looks right, gets where the football ball is going to be caught. Making the catch on the outside is Martin, Jr. His second reception of the game. Equals his catch total from last week, 2 for 14, as he secures this football, picks up some good yardage, and he'll be taken down by the Canes. 1:32 to go. Timeout was taken on the field. 6-0 Rebels. Lucas, you like the play here for both our quarterbacks? We kind of thought, we didn't mention this on the outset, but I thought we might see these two guys, give us more aerial works than we're seeing here early.
Start lighting it up, start taking some shots downfield, and I agree with you, and I think they should. I think the Canes are really getting outmatched at their own game right now, and they have a really elite speed wide receiver threat that is Phil Ross. Now, we've mentioned KP not really been hitting his mark as much tonight, but that can change. That can change after a half, after maybe the nerves have settled and finally get into that rhythm. And hopefully he can start airing it out to Phil and others, because all I've seen this first half is the Rebels come up, stack the box on 1st and 2nd down, not let the Canes running attack go anywhere, and force them into the 3rd and long hole. So I think it's going to be a good one, and I think the Canes are going to need to start adjusting their offensive game plan if they want to come out on top tonight.
Well stated, Lucas. 1:32 to go in a 6-0 ball game. The Rebs pitching yet another shutout. 2 wide receivers stacked on the top of your screen. 2 split to the wide side of the field. Long count for Abdullah. Here come the Canes. They show blitz. Abdullah from the pocket, and he's going to go down, and he's going to get sacked. Great work there by the Arizona Canes. Excellent work by the secondary for the Canes.
And Andrew Espinoza held him up right there, swerving through the offensive line, getting an important sack. And the Rebels going to call timeout to get the clock stopped again.
Clayton Monk's also one of those guys in there making things difficult. Pick your poison for the offensive line under pressure, but Abdullah goes down. He gets sacked. And for the Canes, nice defensive play. For the Canes, they pick up their 46th sack of the year on that sequence. And you talk about amazing numbers. They have 23 takeaways after the TJ Downs interception on the goal line from Abdullah. 1:17 to go, second quarter. 1:17 to go till intermission. Cactus Fuel, refueling tomorrow's athlete. Official hydration drink of the Arizona Cactus Football League. Vegan and gluten-free, low sugar and low carbs. Visit them at cactusfueldrinks.com and get your fuel today.
I'll tell you, the guys really needed it today. 4 p.m. game out in beautiful Mesa, Arizona. Was a hot one. Saw a lot of sweat, a lot of hands on hips just because of the temperature. So Cactus Fuel, a great way for them to stay in the game and hydrated.
Love James Fisher. Had a great conversation with the head coach of the Canes before the ball game. Passionate guy, longtime O-line coach at Millennium High School on the west side of town. Good guy for this game. And it was just good to have those conversations with these guys. They're good people. And all the extracurricular stuff that we've seen has just been unfortunate. Long count for Abdullah. He's got 3 wide receivers bunch to the short side of the field. Abdullah to the air, and he got rid of it about a second and a half too early, because in his kitchen was Deontay Flowers, a one-time defensive standout for the Arizona Christian University Firestorm. Played his defensive ball for Keith Sewell and Jeff Bowen at HCU, but Deontay Flowers getting to the quarterback, and Abdullah said, I want nothing to do with Deontay Flowers, and he got rid of the football, and that will result in a punting situation here. With a $1:13 to go, Lucas, the Canes are going to get the football back, and you're going to give KP Proche one more chance.
Yeah, he'll get another shot this half, see if he can pull some of the magic the Outlaws and Spartans had earlier, scoring with little time left in the first half. Let's see if they can start airing it out. Let's see if KP will start hitting his throws here in this pass-oriented opportunity.
Great snap back to Spino. End-over-end kick taken inside the 30. We finally with touchdown by the Rebs, Robert Sharps. But Spino had all kinds of pressure in his face, was able to get rid of it. And with 62 seconds to go till intermission, KP Proche will get another chance. And he will have to go 70 yards to try to punch it in and tie up this football game here in this semifinal contest. The Outlaws have already won. They will be one half of the championship bracket to be played right here at Bellbank Park from the Legacy Sports Complex on Saturday night, June 4th. That is the AZCFL championship game. And right now, the Running Rebels are looking pretty good to defend their crown from one season ago, Lucas.
Solid work from them so far. They've held up their end of the bargain on the defensive end and have done just good enough to have a lead on offense. But the Canes are going to try and answer.
Outlaws won 20-13 earlier. Out ball to Arlonzo Simpson. Catch made.
Uh-oh, he's in bounce, and the Canes have used all their timeouts to talk things over today, so they'll have to hurry.
With the coverage there for the Rebs was Robert Sharps. Gain of 6. Ball was placed on the 36-yard line, working left to right. KP Proche and the Canes. Deep ball in the middle field. It's Simpson. It's caught at the 40. Stays on the feet at the 40, 35, and finally is going to be pushed out of bounds. Nice ball there by KP Proche. He hit Orlando Simpson in the slot. Simpson got bumped off the play around the 40-yard line. Great stick attempt, but you got to wrap up, and that allowed Simpson to pick up extra yardage, and finally they go out of bounds around the 35-yard line. Oh, what a play.
Yeah, defensive coaches will call that bumper cars with your chest pads, and they will not be pleased for it. Got to wrap up and have him down, especially in that situation. Unreal play by Simpson to not only haul in the catch, but bounce off that tackle, get out of bounds, and save the time. So now the Rebels will think things over with their final timeout.
Heady play by Eddie Fluker to get in position and to get Simpson out of bounds. Unofficially a gain of 35 yards. KP Proche over the middle of the field, right down the seam to Orlando Simpson. And for Simpson, he too, like Azure, having an outstanding campaign here in the AZCFL from that wideout position.
Yeah, we've seen some very talented wideouts, both in last game and this one. Phil Ross, Alonzo Simpson, talented pair. Ashore McMillan, as we were talking about last game, one of the best threats in the league. This talent runs deep here in the AZCFL, and it's really a treat to watch.
Orlando Simpson with 2 receptions here, make it 3. 24 catches now, well over 400 yards, 8 touchdown receptions for the big play threat for the Canes. And Phil Ross also, you talk about a dynamic duel, Phil Ross, Orlando Simpson. Proche gets the snap back, rolls to the near side, throws on the run, and the ball is going to be caught. A little toe drag swag by Phil Ross as he dots the sideline and falls out of bounds. What a rope there by Proche. And now all they have to do is sort out the penalty flag that's been placed around the 34-yard line. And this one doesn't look like it's going to stick here, Lucas. Looks like this is going to come back the other way. But we'll wait for Pat Wachowski, our AZCFL referee.
That's a tough break there for the Canes. Ineligible man downfield. sets him back, something you can't have, especially after such a beautiful play was completed, and it's all for nothing just because one of the linemen was a few 2 yards down there.
That's going to negate a 17-yard pass play. And, Lucas, I'm going to be honest with you. You wouldn't catch me ever wearing an orange jumpsuit like that at any point in time. Popesy off his back foot, throws the ball. It's going to be caught on the far sideline. A back shoulder reception. Really was Kevin Godot reacting to the football, saw the ball coming in behind the play, slowed up, got his body in position, and hauled that one in. Outstanding play by Kevin Godot.
Really good stuff right there. And KP clocks it quick, but what a back shoulder throw and catch. Like you said, that was more of a reaction, but KP placing the back shoulder, forcing his receiver to get out of bounds, putting it in a place that only his guy can get it. KP starting to show his signs of life again, getting back to his normal self. I think he can really pick it up and put it together in the second half.
Provci to Kevin Godot, a gain at 20 yards, and that will allow the Canes, with 22 seconds to go, have a couple chances at the end zone. Now in the red zone for the first time tonight for the Canes. So this Running Rebel defense has been outstanding. Hopefully you're enjoying tonight's game on the CMX Broadcast Network. Kevin Derryberry alongside Lucas Metzner. A snap on the hands. It's Provci looking for the back end of the end zone. He wanted Ross, and the ball is going to be incomplete. Oh, he had Phil Ross right in front of the goalpost. And that KP Provci pass, again, not advisable. That ball was nearly intercepted. Two Rebel defenders had a chance at it. One might have been Martin Two Jr. The other was Eddie Fluker. And let's be honest, Lucas, the Canes just dodged a huge bullet. That should have been a takeaway for this Running Rebel defense.
Little stroke of luck on the offensive side, not having that one turned over and just falling to the ground for incomplete. They'll have two chances here on third down, but really a fortunate break.
The coach movie indicates that's going to come back to haunt. We'll see what happens. Provci on the scramble. 20, 15, 10. And he's going to slow down enough to get trucked down around the 5-yard line. With 1 second to go, the Canes are going to run out of time.
And time has expired on them. Unfortunate ending as KP could not get out of bounds on his scramble. Not enough time. It was fourth down, couldn't spike it, couldn't get the field goal unit on in time, and couldn't get the no huddle fast enough. So it'll end 6-0 at the half.
Let's be honest right there. That's game management. Those are challenges in game management. Whether Mr. Provci has the experience to understand and recognize the situation there, I'm sure that he does, but he's just trying to make a play. He's got incredible wheels. He's an athletic young man. On that sequence, you've got to run straight out of bounds to give yourself a chance. And as soon as he turned it upfield, unless he was going to score, Lucas, he was going to run out of time. That's what we saw here. Credit the Running Rebel defense to pitch the shutout here in the first 30 minutes. And they stood tall, and they made enough plays offensively. And the only touchdown of this semifinal is an 8-yard touchdown run by Akil Abdullah. That's the only scoring. We go to the break here at Bellbank Park here from the Legacy Sports Complex. It's halftime. All of our halftime festivities coming up next. We welcome you back to the Social Therapy Press Box from the Bellbank Park on the CMX Network. I'm Kevin Derryberry alongside Lucas Messner. Lucas filling in for Cody Cameron. CC is taking care of business on the left coast in Southern California. CC, we welcome you back soon enough. Looking at the docket, doesn't look like we'll see CC until next year or later on in the high school campaign. But Lucas, thanks for filling in tonight. Your thoughts on the first half?
Just the Rebels outmatching the Canes at their own game. The running Rebels have played stout defense. They've done a lot of power running mixed in with just a tiny bit of pass, and they're beating the Canes at it. And that's normally the Canes' identity. So it's been kind of shocking so far.
So Luke Trudy keeps this one in line, and now on the return, there's a fumble, and it looks as though that Phil Ross and friends are there to recover the fumble.
Absolutely game-altering off the rip of the second half. I thought that kick was going to go out of bounds. It never did. Returner was forced to pick it up, and four guys meeting him back there caused a nice fumble.
Tariq Smith Jr. picked up that football on the near boundary, started to go towards the other side of the field, had the ball knocked out. It was recovered by the Canes, and on the first play of half number 2, you're looking for something crazy to happen. You're looking for anything you can do to get back in this game. They get the fumble and the recovery on the opening return. So Tariq Smith Jr., a big-time gaff, and the Canes in golden position. They start the second half in the red zone for KP Proche. They run it to Dotstry, breaks one tackle, angles towards the left side of the field on the far hash mark, and gets taken out defensively. Up there for the Rebels to make the play, Dwayne Phillips among others, and Dotstry with a nice run. And holy smokes, Lucas, it's the takeaway for the Canes, their 24th of the year.
A much-needed one, too. This game was looking like the Canes couldn't get much going. They force an early turnover. They start with the ball inside the red zone, and now things are looking up again once again.
Dotstry coming off a 3-touchdown performance last week, trying to get back in the box here. And he starts outside, cuts it back inside. That was a very slow to develop play. And lining up to the near side here, and I tell you what, there might be a little cat and mouse going on between these two guys here in the end zone. Phil Ross and Eddie Fluker having their best Tom and Jerry episode down there. One guy would fall down, the other guy would play dead for a second, play a little possum, and then get right back up. Sorry, trying to get comfortable here in the box. 6-0, 13-19 to go, third quarter, as Pat Wachowski is the white hat official down there barking out some instructions. Play clock moving. 13:05 to go. KP Proche back to the huddle. No visible play clock, but the Canes know they've got to hustle. Phil Ross lines up to the near side. He'll stand on the 10-yard line, and across from him is Eddie Fluker. Snap back to Proche. It's Dotstry, and Dotstry trying to run towards the 5-yard line. He's going to get tackled from behind by Kevin Newell. Kevin Newell with a great defensive play. And we talked about Kevin early on, Lucas. He's had himself a very active football game.
I mean, there he is. We talked about him off the rip since the kickoff with the coin toss, and he's been all over the field, shooting his gaps with great speed, great acceleration, great intensity, and making more plays as the game goes on, forcing the Canes to line up in field goal formation when they tried another run on third down. Third
tackle of the game, 16th of the season. So they'll bring on Luke Trudy. And I say they, that's head coach James Fisher and the Canes. Down 6-0, we'll bring on Trudy. This would be a 23-yard attempt. Snap is down. The kick is on its way. The kick looks good, and the kick is good.
And there's your designated special teams kicker right there, right through the uprights. No problem from 23 yards out. Not ideal considering the turnover. As hold everything, there seems to be some discussion.
So the 23-yard field goal attempt by Luke Trudy is good. Penalty marker on the play. The question will become, is that going to negate the 3, or does it allow the Canes a chance to move the football? So Pat Wachowski, your official with the indication. And the foul was on the Canes. Christopher Betancourt, the left guard, got nailed for the penalty. So now they're going to push it back. They'll kick it from the 24-yard line now. This will be a 34-yard attempt. Snap is back. The kick is on its way. The kick, again, looks good, and it is no good.
Wide right.
Penalty marker comes in from the secondary. So we'll wait and see if this is going to hold up. So the 34-yard field goal attempt this time didn't go, and it did look like he was trying to bring it in from the right pole to inside, and it just continued to stay right.
Yeah, defensive pressure got through. Was surprised it didn't get blocked. He was lucky to get it off, but a miss. Let's see if the flag gives the Canes a second chance or if they are scoreless yet again.
If I could read the body language here from the Rebs, they're just going to keep the football. They will not, the Canes will not have another chance, and the running Rebels will dodge yet another bullet. So they dodged the huge bullet on the fumble recovery. And then here on the special teams faux pas, the Canes missed the 34-yard field goal. So right now, as we've mentioned before, it's self-infliction. That's been the turmoil here for the Canes. And now after the dead ball foul, the running Rebels will somehow seemingly get great field position. They'll begin their drive of the second half, their first drive of the second half from the 35-yard line, and that is where Akil Abdullah will go back to work.
Wow. Made field goal, penalty, turn missed field goal with another penalty. That's shooting yourself in the foot about 4 times right there.
Here comes Caleb Cobb. It'll be Abdullah to the air. Catch made to the 35, 40, 45, and getting decked around the 46-yard line. Excellent play by TJ Downs. Making the reception, his third catch of the game was Michael Harris. Positive yardage again for Harris. Makes the catch and has first down yardage. Unofficially a gain of 13 yards. Ball on the 47-yard line of the South Phoenix running Rebels. Working right to left. Their first drive of the second half, they lead 6-0. This is the 2021 state champions out of the AZCFL, the South Phoenix running Rebels. And they go to the ground game. They'll pick up about 3. Cobb, the ball carrier. Excellent defense out of the middle. Double Nichols, Mikael Mayer, among others, making it difficult for Caleb Cobb to run the football. But the one thing that we've seen out of the running Rebels, they like to run it downhill. They don't do a lot of north-south, east-west stuff. It is just that, north-south.
It's downhill, and it's usually right off the center of the guard's tail, not even really exposing the holes between, the tackle and guard. They're just that hole right up the middle. And let's see if they throw here with a heavy Canes front.
Guy Brown lines up to the near side. Abdullah will put the ball in the hands of Harris for the 4th time here tonight. He's their leading receiver this evening, is Michael Harris. His 4th catch. He'll pick up a yard here.
And that one didn't go much of anywhere. Good gain tackling by the Canes defense once again. Something I noticed for the running Rebels offense, though, this series, they've done a really good job to adjusting to the Canes front. First down, the Canes ran a 50 front with 5 heavy linemen. They threw the ball. Second down, 3 down linemen, they ran it. Now on third, we'll see what they have to do, considering it is 3rd and long.
3rd down and 9 from the 48-yard line of the running Rebs. Abdullah looks right, throws over the middle field. The ball's going to be caught for the first down inside the 40-yard line. Michael Harris, his 5th catch of the game, and this will be a chain-moving catch at that.
And this might go unnoticed. An important pickup block from Ian Robinson Jr., the running back. He gave Abdullah enough time to complete that throw and move the sticks, but he took that one by running into one of the Canes D linemen, stopping him from pressuring Abdullah.
Akil Abdullah to Michael Harris, 15 yards in a 1st and 10. That's a chain-moving catch from Michael Harris. That's his 5th catch of the evening. He'll break the huddle. He'll line up to the outside of the wide receivers in a 2-by-2 stack. Behind Harris on the far side is Tariq Smith Sr., the one-time South Mountain Jaguar. They run it up the middle, and this is Cobb, and Cobb's going to be grabbed down low. Knifing through, defending the play. Once again, double nickels, Mikael Mayer all over that play, snuff it out, and he got lowest, and he was there to wrap up the legs of the ball carrier Cobb.
Great gap sound football right there. He exposed his gap, which I believe was the B, could have been the A, and almost did not make that tackle, but was very smart. He slipped, but he grabbed hold of his ankle, made sure the ball carrier got down, and that's a huge play, making sure he doesn't get any yards, forcing 2nd and 10.
J.R. Kenny with his hands to his waist. Opening drive of the second half for Akil Abdullah. From the pocket, down the middle of the field, the ball is incomplete. He wanted Tariq Smith Sr. The ball was slightly underthrown. Good coverage by the Canes, and that'll force a 3rd down and 10 from the, we'll call it the 37-yard line of the Canes, down by 6. Clock continues to run. 7:55 to go in this 3rd quarter. The winner of tonight's semifinal game will advance and punch their ticket to the 2022 AZCFL Championship game, and they will take on the Outlaws, the Arizona Outlaws, and it did not surprise anybody in the Outlaw community, but it certainly surprised a lot of people in Sparty's community, the Arizona Spartans. Long count here on a 3rd down and 10 for Akil Abdullah, the one-time Valley Vista product. Snap is back, looking left. Here comes the pressure. Hit, and as he lets it go, and the ball's incomplete. Great pressure by the Canes. They were coming after the quarterback. Justin Johnson was there. Also there was Clayton Monks, as he's made another big-time play here in tonight's football game, getting after the quarterback.
Justin Johnson with the great pass rush there, using his hands to get involved, get past the tackle. He pops Abdullah. Abdullah's throw doesn't get near to where it was intended, and it forces 4th down.
For Abdullah, pretty impressive career for the Monsoon. 2,848 yards through the air. And he's also passed for 26 touchdowns in 2 years for the Monsoon. Last played there in 2015, so 7 years later, here he is with a 4th down and 10 from the 37-yard line. Snap is back, double move, and the ball is incomplete. Abdullah wanted the wide receiver Martin Toot Jr., and they had a lack of communication. Somebody zigged when they should have zagged. That's an incomplete pass, a turnover on downs for this Arizona Cane defense. And they bend but don't break. And now they give KP Poche another chance to not only score their first touchdown, but maybe take the lead with a touchdown.
Indeed.
And an extra point.
Special teams, Luke Trudy been very consistent. Obviously was faced with a lot of pressure and the penalty moving him back, so unable to convert his 2nd attempt. But as we saw, his first one was beautiful. He's been really good on extra points this year. They have the chance to take a 1-point lead if they can finally punch it in for 6.
Poche now with the 4 wide receiver packets. He's got trips to the near side. Single high safety at midfield. Poche wants to throw the ball deep, and he does, but the ball is going to be picked off. It's intercepted at the 47-yard line. Here come the running Rebs. Down the sideline, it's Robert Sharps looking for blockers. Kind of back inside, and finally he's going to be taken down, but not before he picks it off. Robert Sharps with the interception. And again, for the running Rebels, they hit Poche from behind on the pass play, and that made that pass erratic, left it short, and then the rest by the defensive back, and an excellent return on the play.
What a hit from Nico Thompson. Coming in off the edge, absolutely nails KP forcing an interception. That ball was supposed to go a long way, and that was hit, so that ball did not travel nearly as far as it was supposed to. Easy interception for the Rebels, and the Rebels defense just playing out of their minds right now.
For Dylan Alderman, the team's MVP, he is the one that's shaken up. Credit the pick, the interception to Robert Sharps. And for the Rebels, their 11th takeaway. That's their 5th pick of the year. And the running Rebels defense again stands tallest here. Already up 6-0 with 6:41 to go in the third quarter. It is interesting to think that the Canes can't generate any kind of offense, period. It's been the running Rebels defense and everything else after that.
Yeah, just a testament to how good the Canes defense has been, despite probably being outplayed in almost every phase of the game so far. It's still only a 6-point game. The defense has come in absolutely clutch to keep them in this one where the offense has fell short.
The Rebs have 4 shutouts this season. They shut out the Hawks 46-0. They shut out the Titans 30-0. And, of course, they have 2 forfeit shutouts. This is Abdullah, and it's a deep ball near boundary. It's broken up. Great work by the cornerback. Providing the coverage was Tim Smith. And he had one-on-one coverage to the near boundary. And he was working on the running Rebels, Guy Brown, their top wide receiver. So Tim Smith against Guy Brown. Akil Abdullah took a chance, and it was Tim Smith batting that ball down, give him the PBU.
Showing his value from all sides of the field. An absolute special teams threat, but a true defensive back, staying with his receiver every stride of the way. Ball gets thrown to the pylon, bang, knocks it out. Another down, 2nd and 10.
Abdullah has Cobb flanked to his right in the pistol formation. 3 wide receivers to the wide side of the field. Abdullah gets the snap back. Those towards the slot, and the ball is picked off. It's intercepted by the Arizona Canes.
What a grab!
With the defensive play of the game to this point for the number 2 seeded Canes, that was Trumaine Smith. He's been excellent in the secondary, and he comes up with yet another takeaway for the Canes, their 3rd of the night.
You know, the circus was in town behind this stadium today. That catch was acrobatic. He leaped full extension and took away what looked like to be a solid completion. Great instincts, great awareness, and even better hands.
Hard to imagine, but this Canes defense has 6 pick sixes on the year. If they can only get one of those interceptions in space, look out. That might be one of their better ways to score. That is the pick 6 for this Arizona Cane defense. They went 10-1 on this season. They were fantastic. 3 more takeaways here tonight, 2 more picks. They've got 15 of those. They have a fumble recovery as well, and they've also got the football back as they will begin this drive well inside their own 5-yard line. They run it left, and now keeping it is KP Profti. And Profti, with some great deception, might have got our cameraman a little bit confused right there, or hoodwinked for just a moment. But Profti, once he got to the secondary, Lucas, he got blown up right there. But he also delivered some punishment to the secondary in that defensive back.
Yeah, for a guy with a lot of speed, not afraid to lower his shoulder. Another read option right there. I love read option calls with KP. Very fast, very quick, good decisive runner. He used the 50-man front against them and got some good yardage there.
Profti, a gain of 8. This is Dotstry breaking tackles as he runs across the field to the 35-yard line, out across the 35, close to the 40. And that is the best run of the night for Greg Dotstry, coming off that 154-yard outing last week. Nice run up the middle.
Finally, the Canes setting something up, moving forward. A good run on 1st down sets up an even better run on 2nd down, keeps the sticks moving, and they're getting close to midfield here.
A gain of 13 yards for Greg Dotstry, and the Canes on the move, working left to right. 3:46 to go in this 3rd quarter. Snap back. They give it Dotstry again as he goes straight ahead with a full head of steam across the 45-yard line to the 46. And a nice run Working on that left side was Greg Dotstry. And the left tackle between Betancourt and Daryl Dobbins, Dobbins being the left tackle, great blocking up front.
Great blocking, and would have been more if it wasn't for the diving tackle of Dwight Gillibert.
Gillibert's their leading tackle and tackler for this Running Rebel team. That was a great tackle. Provji to the air again. The ball's caught by Phil Ross at the 40-yard line as he falls towards the 36-yard line. Great throw there by KP Provji. Even better catch by Phil Ross, and then the rack.
Finally getting him activated, finding him in stride up the seam. KP is reading his safeties really well right now, seeing if they're playing a one high or two high look. There are ways to expose the seam with both, and it looks like he's doing a good job of finding it.
KP Provji to Phil Ross. Gain of 14 yards, 1st and 10. Here come the Canes. Dotsery again breaking through that defensive line, getting to that linebacker level. And you see double forwards getting off the pile. There's Kevin Newell among friends. But Dotsery running with authority, and he's running with that full head of steam downhill, as we described a couple of times. And he's got positive yards there. The offensive line working in synchronicity with the ground game. And this is the best we've seen this Canes offense look to date.
They look like they're in a rhythm finally in this second half, something that has been sorely lacking in the first.
There goes Orlando Simpson in motion. That's going to be a penalty. That's going to be a procedure penalty. Ball's loose, and the Running Rebels are going to recover the football. And sloppy play here is going to cost the Arizona Canes in a big way. The penalty is going to go against Orlando Simpson. It was a procedure penalty, and then the ball and then the exchange of the football by the Canes was reckless, and coming away with the rock is the Running Rebels' Ben Burnell. And that'll be a takeaway for the Running Rebels. Their second takeaway of this football game.
Wow, guess I need to shut up right there. That's broadcaster's jinx on full effect. Just talking about how the Canes were getting moving in the right direction and maybe could put a score into this one. They get hit with the illegal procedure. That wasn't going to go anywhere anyway. But to make matters worse, the fumble exchange, and now the Rebels have the football once again.
It's a 6-0 ball game. Rebels have the lead and the football. The last time these two teams squared off was back in April 2nd in a game that saw the Canes win it 10-6. That's the last time this South Phoenix Running Rebel football team lost under Charles Adams. Abdullah wants to run the football. He gets to the edge, and he's going to be grabbed from behind. No gain for Akil Abdullah. Outstanding defensive play there by Peanut Tapa. Paramore was pursuing the quarterback, chasing Abdullah from behind, and did not allow Akil Abdullah to turn the corner on the edge. No gain. Excellent tackle there by Peanut Tapa.
And that's the philosophy of Arizona Canes football. All 11 hats to the ball. Peanut makes the great play individually, but that sea of black uniforms all flowing to the far side of the field to follow Abdullah.
It's a 6-0 ball game with 53 seconds to go in this third quarter. It's still a one-possession game. It's still anybody's game as the Rebels trying to come up with yet another big-time drive here. 2nd and 10 on their own 38-yard line. Bunch package to the far side. Tight formation. Snap is back. Looking right is Abdullah from the pocket. And the ball is thrown towards the slot, and the pass was dropped by Guy Brown. Applying pressure from the backside, Peanut Tapa and 9-0 JJ Justin Johnson. Late penalty marker comes in right at the numbers. 28 seconds to go. The clock will stop as we sort out the penalty. The Running Rebels still have a 6-0 lead with 28 seconds to go in the third stanza.
Possibility of some extra jawing right there, and the ref just not having any more of it, tossing up the flag, or I wonder if something went on during the play.
Let us know where you're watching tonight's game from on Twitter. Hit me at KDBVoice with the hashtag roll call. Where are you watching tonight's game from? And let us know on Facebook. Where are you watching tonight's game from a global perspective? We know our guy, my broadcast partner, Cody Cameron, probably checking in from Los Angeles somewhere.
We say hi, Cody.
Out on business. The Outlaws probably have a vested interest in this one as well, watching around this great state 48. And now we're going to get a timeout. And with that, we'll take the timeout as well. You're watching the 2022 AZCFL semifinal on the CMX network. Back after the short time. We welcome you back inside the Sozo Therapy Press Box. I'm Kevin Derryberry alongside this guy right here, Lucas Metzner. You normally see Lucas at center stage on the 50-yard line. He's our sideline reporter joining me up in the booth here tonight. In fact, Lucas could be joining me here for the championship game as well. We'll see about that. But, Lucas, appreciate you filling in tonight. You enjoying yourself?
Yeah, love it up here. Love you having me. Love working with you. I love this league. So many fun plays to watch and so many good players to keep an eye on. And this is the pinnacle. This is where it all comes to a T. You live for playoff football. It is the moments you spend hours and weeks and years of your life for, and it's all going to come down to quarter number 4.
That was a lot of love that Lucas just kind of described right there.
Correction. 30 seconds left in the third, but we're approaching.
28 seconds to go. Akil Abdullah has 2 wide receivers stacked outside the numbers on the top of your screen. 4 wide receiver packets. Abdullah looks towards the top of your screen. Here comes the pressure. He wants to throw the football. He does. The ball is going to come out. He got drilled as he tried to release the football. One more time, breaking nuts in the backfield was that man, Peanut. Mr. Tapa getting it done.
Absolutely fired up, as he should be, after a great play on 3rd and long. Very, very close call for the running Rebels, as that throw was successfully ruled incomplete and he got it forward. Could have been bad if he got hit a little harder. Doesn't get that pass forward. Another turnover in the game, and that could have been an easy scoop and score.
It could very well have been that way, but how about the stick by Paramore top on the outside? You talk about a blindside hit on Akil Abdullah. That's what you just witnessed. Penalty marker on the play. So we wait for the 4th down call. Right after this, we have played our final 28 seconds here in quarter number 3. We move to the 4th and final quarter. Our score remains the South Phoenix Running Rebels 6 and the Arizona Canes 0. You're watching the 2022 AZCFL on the CMX Broadcast Network. We welcome you back inside the Sozo Therapy Press Box, the best physical therapy and recovery teams in the Valley, and the AZCFL's official post-game recovery partner. Let me tell you why. Sozo is personal. They are hands-on, and they service every age group for any stage of life. The word Sozo is an action word that means to save, to heal, and to preserve from harm. Their goal as a team is to show care and compassion to everyone they serve. They focus on hands-on care, which means they use their hands with massage, manipulation, mobilizations. They have over 40 years of collective experience and knowledge that gives them a unique advantage in providing professional service. It's Sozo Therapy.
Now hold on, a big call just made by our head referee. I heard automatic first down and an unsportsmanlike conduct.
There was a penalty that was thrown. There was a flag thrown on the far sideline during the final 28 seconds of that third quarter. We kind of intimated that we will sort it out. We'll figure out how the fourth quarter starts, and there it is. Pat Wachowski, our white hat official, indicates a personal foul assessed against the Canes result in a 15-yarder and a first down for Akil Abdullah and the South Phoenix Runner Rebels as they now work left to right. They run it up the middle, and that's Cobb, breaks a tackle, and he gets destroyed in the backfield. A TFL for Mr. Peanut Paramore. Paramore, top up once again, getting it done. A TFL for him. He's starting to heat up. He's been getting to the quarterback on 3 consecutive plays. And the previous play on that, there was a big bump in the backfield, and nice job there by Cobb to break the tackle.
Yeah, Mikael Mayer came through screaming on a B-gap blitz, was able to hit him in the backfield, didn't bring him down, but that led Peanut and company to his trail, allowing him to make the tackle for loss, bringing up second and a little longer.
Rebs still lead it 6-0. Second down after the 4-yard TFL by Peanut Tapa. Ball's on the 34-yard line, 2nd and 14. Canes have 4 down linemen. They show that they're coming. Now we're going to get a penalty marker. This will be the head linesman with the call. It'll be a procedure penalty assessed to the Runner Rebels. That's going to put them back 5 yards. So infractions here have been costly to both teams. It's still a one-possession football game, and it is still anybody's game here to win this one. These two teams played again, I mentioned, and it bears worth repeating, back in April, it was a 10-6 ball game. So both defenses are very familiar with these offenses. These coaches are familiar with one another. The scheming, the entire game plan for both coaches has been spectacular, and they've executed very well.
Both defensive coordinators right now absolutely deserve a raise for this one. Been putting in some good work on the defensive end of both sides. Offense, different story, but the defense been doing A-okay.
Low snap for Abdullah. Looks right. Now he's going to step through the pocket. Throws down the middle of the field. The ball. It's going to be picked off. It's intercepted. There's another interception for the Canes. Running with the football for the Canes is Jake Reed. And Jake Reed takes it to the 20-yard line. Jake Reed nearly a pick six, but it was a touchdown saving tackle at the 20. The Canes get the football back, and yet another takeaway. Their 3rd interception from Abdullah, their 26th takeaway of the season, and they're in business as they begin this drive inside the red zone.
And throwing it back to earlier in the game, Abdullah threw a pick in the end zone because of this similar scenario. The rush gets there. He can't see over the top of his head. They sometimes get a hit off on of him, and I'm sure he was trying to launch that one over the top, some one-on-one coverage. But the good work of the D lineman makes the throw come short. Jake Reed makes a great read, no pun intended, and flies with the football down another 30, 40 yards to set up the Canes nicely in the red zone.
Both these teams have combined to shut out the opposition 10 times this year. 10 defensive shutouts posted by each of these defenses. So before the Canes can get their offense going here, with 12:52 to go in this fourth quarter, they've got to take another timeout. So James Fisher will take the TO. The Canes will regroup with 12:52 to go. They're going to start this drive right on the 20-yard line. And we talk about some great scheming, great coaching, some things like that. And we definitely have doled out some accolades, and deservedly so. But the players now have to pick this game up and take us the rest of the way. The players have to execute. They've got to buy into their game plan, maintain their game plan. Again, you're talking one throw away, an extra point, a 2-point conversion, and a touchdown could beat you.
There's so much right now.
It's a lot riding as the plot thickens here, Lucas. We got a great game on hand.
12:52 left to go in the fourth. Canes take their first time out of this half, but last half, quite peculiar. Had to address a lot of issues and get things right. Used all 3 before halfway through the second quarter. And so on that final last hurrah drive, they didn't have a single timeout to use, and that really hurt them in hopes of already getting on the board. But right now, their fortune looks like it can change starting from the 20 in the red zone.
Alonzo Simpson will line up at the 20-yard line with single coverage provided for him. Single safety at the top. Snap is back. They run it to Mitchell, to the outside, 15, 10, to the corner, and he's going to be ridden out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Nice tackle there by Eddie Fluker. Fluker, with a great defensive play out of that cornerback spot, came up in run protection. And for Kenny Mitchell, arguably his best run of the night. Is this going to hold up? No, I think it's coming back. There's another penalty marker thrown at the 20-yard line. Perhaps it was holding against the Canes. More self-infliction has caused a lot of self-destruction on both teams. And we've seen this for 12 weeks. It's part of the game, but less is more. And the least amount of mistakes that these teams can make are going to be the result of who plays the smartest and makes the least amount of mistakes going the rest of the way is going to win this football game. Captain Obvious reporting.
Indeed, but it's worth noting they've shot themselves in the foot so many times, both the Rebels and the Canes. Who can minimize that? Who can stop getting the yellow flags thrown at them and come out on top?
Dwayne Phillips will give Alonzo Simpson some coverage. He'll give him about 7 steps there. They run it to Dostry, and Dostry leaps over the initial attack. And now we get a late flag coming in after the play is already made. They're starting to peel guys back off the pile. A late flag came in. And now the umpire and the side judges getting together. Alonzo Simpson was running that slant pattern again, and he had all kinds of real estate to work with. Phillips defended him, gave him about 7 yards off the ball. That's just way too much real estate to give up. For Alonzo Simpson, who's a big play threat, can not only catch it over the middle, but he can also do some damage. They're going to pick this flag up. So that's something that's a nice treat for everybody. 12:21 to go. They'll roll the clock. 6-0 Rebels. If you join us late, it was an 8-yard touchdown run from Akil Abdullah to score the touchdown, the only points of this football game.
And that was on the opening drive.
KP Profi working out of the pistol formation. Double move. Deep ball, near sideline. Jump ball for Alonzo Simpson, and it's incomplete. Simpson was being defended there by Phillips. Phillips slow to get up. But again, Lucas, in this case, you don't want to pick on the quarterback, but that ball was slightly underthrown, and it allowed Phillips enough time to get in there and defend the play. If that ball's a little bit higher and over the top towards the pylon outside the edge, you have a chance for Alonzo Simpson to leap up there and make a play.
Correct.
Outstanding coverage there by Phillips.
One of your best receivers, Alonzo Simpson. And we love KP up in the booth, but he has been missing the mark little too often than the team would like tonight. And especially on that one, great double move concept, but underthrown and a potential danger. Crisis averted. Canes still have the football.
Gudo lines up to the near side. Mitchell's in at tailback. Profi rolls to the far side. Here comes the pressure. He's going to go down. He's going to get sacked again. KP Profi gets dropped. Getting to the cornerback, there were 2 guys. The first one was Ben Burnell, and the second guy there to clean things up was Dwight Gilbert. And Gilbert, I mentioned already, their leading tackler on this football team, but have a night for the defensive player.
So
Ben Burnell has made 2 outstanding plays. I beg your pardon there, Lucas.
All good. He has been quite the ball player, making the plays when necessary and some crucial ones, especially disrupting the quarterback. But it's going to be interesting here with just 11 minutes left to go. Canes are going to need to go for this one with I like to call 4th and a country mile. It's very long.
Ball is on the 37-yard line. This is 4th and 23. Profi over the middle of the field. The ball is in and out of the hands of the slot receiver. That's going to be an incomplete play. That was Joseph Parker Jr., the intended target, and he was not able to haul that pass in. So Profi put a little gas on that one, and unfortunately for Parker Jr., couldn't haul it in. That'll be a turnover on downs, and the Rebels defense turns away this Arizona Cane offense one more time.
They just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And it's been partly because the Rebels defense is simply just that good. There's no denying it. They're incredibly talented. They play smart. They play physical. And they have really stifled the Canes offense to something that I personally wasn't expecting tonight. I know these are two good defensive teams, but I did not have the Canes being shut out through 3 quarters on my bingo card.
Yes, I would have to agree with you on that, Lucas Metzner. So it's Abdullah back to work. They go to the ground game here, and this is Cobb again with a huge game right up the middle, just gashing through that Canes defense, who might be starting to tire a little bit. 9-yard gain for Cobb, and a nice defensive play in the middle. One of those guys there late, but it was a nice play there by Daniel Ellickson, number 99. Ellickson coming off a sack and 3 tackles with a TFL in last week's 48-0 triumph. But how about Cobb just running right through the middle there, again, downhill with a head of steam and blowing people up as he finishes that run.
Very violent, powerful, physical runner.
Violent. I like that.
Something you need when you're working deep between the trenches.
Hard count again. They go right back to the ground game, and this is Cobb. There used to be a back that might have played for the at a University of Texas. His name was Reggie Cobb. Maybe he was a wideout out of Auburn, but there was a Cobb that has played in the National Football League. In fact, Cedric Cobb was out of the University of Texas at one point. So there has been some Cobbs that we have seen before us, but this one here is Caleb Cobb. No relation from what we understand. I mentioned that to Charles Adams. He said there's been some Cobbs before, but to mention those Cobbs that we just – that's just absolute berserk knowledge for you to come up with Reggie Cobb out of Auburn or Cedric Cobb out of Texas.
I was thinking Randall Cobb, Green Bay receiver.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Milwaukee tie right there, Randall Cobb. There's also a Randall Tex Cobb, a former boxer as well. And I want to, if I had to guess, I would say, unfortunately, that former Texas runner Cedric Cobb, a one-time Cincinnati Bengal, I believe, he's already passed away. Too bad for that young man. Cedric Cobb left us way too soon. 8:49 to go, 6-0 Rebels.
Kevin pulling out the encyclopedia of knowledge tonight.
That's when you have some age behind your belt, you can do the couple of those types of things.
Absolutely.
I just can't imagine that and I would love for someone to do some double checking. Are any of those names accurate? Is any of that true? I would guess if you talk about bingo cards, if I had to put down my betting card right here, I'd say I nailed all those. But we'd have to go back there. Maybe Reggie Cobb, we missed that one out of position at Auburn. But either way, 8:17 to go. Snap back to Abdullah. Looks left, fires that way, and the receiver fell down. It's just been one of those kind of games. You just can't get any kind of rhythm. Nice ball by the quarterback, and for Abdullah, he wanted the wide receiver Tariq Smith Sr. For Tariq, he's got 8 touchdowns, and his partner in crime across from him is Guy Brown. They both have 8 tutties on the year. In fact, for Tariq Smith Sr., his final year as a member of the South Mountain Jaguars, he caught 23 balls for 652 yards, 9 touchdowns with the South Mountain Jags back in 2006, 2007. And here he is a few years later, over a decade plus, playing tackle football for the South Phoenix Running Rebels. So he stayed home.
Impressive Ironman numbers right there.
3rd down and 8. Snap back to Abdullah. Throws over the middle of the field. The ball's going to be caught for the first down. And picking up a little extra yardage after the fact was Martin 2 Jr. But this time, the throw by Abdullah right on the money. Great catch there by Martin 2 Jr. And then the turnaround and pick up the extra yards there. A little cushion. But it was the route running for 2 Jr. He ran past the sticks, and Abdullah delivered an absolute perfect ball, an absolute P right into the numbers in the hands of the wide receiver Martin 2 Jr.
Finally, some rhythm between the quarterback and receiver for both sides tonight, considering it's been a lot of slight over and under throws, some major over and under throws, and then just straight up drops, and then the defense just outplaying the offense. It's been tough going and tough sledding for both offensive sides.
Gain of 13. Here is Hendricks. Hendricks going to be stood up, slipped through a tackle, and then finally gets dropped down after a yard, maybe a yard and a half.
There's Peanut Tappa again. He was the tackler that got evaded, but he was able to make sure that play wasn't going very much farther. It is only a yard gain right there. Pina Tapa was able to trip him up in the backfield, setting up his teammates for the rest of the tackle. Something I've liked from the Canes. If you can't make the tackle, set up the next guy.
He has been in beast mode the entire night. I love the game, love the ability, and I know Cody Cameron would be running out of superlatives for Paramore Pina Tapa right here tonight. 1 yard gain by Hendricks. He remains in the backfield. He gets the call here again, finds a little bit of a crease, lowers the shoulder and kind of burrows his way down towards the ground for extra yardage. Again, filling the gaps from that defensive category. Double fives again there for the Canes. He's made a lot of plays tonight. That's Michael Mayer, or McKell in this case, the middle linebacker. And right now, if you're Charles Adams, Lucas, you can just take your sweet time. You've got the 6-0 lead, 5:35 to go in this one. And if you're James Fisher, it's one stop. And you put your guy, KP Prochi, with your weapons back on the field, you got a chance.
And you tell him, you go down there and score because you know Luke Trudy is going to make the extra point. So this stop is crucial.
Abdullah from the pocket uses good footwork. He throws outside. The ball's going to be caught. It looked like it was Tariq Smith, senior, making the catch. We'll double check that. This is the Rebs' Guy Brown. Guy Brown wears 12. Tariq Smith, senior, wears 13. So we lost the digit there on the grab, but a nice throw there again by Akil Abdullah. I don't know if we've mentioned enough, but the offensive line between Flores, Washington, Dimitri Suave, the right tackle, Tomas Gutierrez in the center, Anthony Reyes, they have been really good. They've kept Abdullah upright for the most part. Yes, they have allowed some pressure to get in there, and he's thrown some picks. But for the most part, they've kept their quarterback pretty clean here in this really, really tough, physical, defensive-minded football game.
For sure. And it's hard to pass block. It's really hard. It's a skill. And I think the running Rebels have stuck to excellent run blocking. And, you know, that's good that they're doing something correct.
That was a 4th down play. But before that, the quarterback, Abdullah, could snap the football, we had a flag down as Akil snapped the football late. He thought he might have had a free play. He thought there was encroachment. We'll see what Pat Wachowski has in store for us. He wears 17. He's got the white hat, and we'll turn things over to him right here. He's mic'd up.
And it is.
So it's encroachment. It'll be a dead ball foul. And that will be a 1st down for the running Rebels and another penalty for the Canes. And that was another tough one. More self-infliction, unfortunately, for the Canes. But they've got to be disciplined enough to know in short-yarded situations, you've got to wait and see the snap go back before you make a play. So with 3:57 to go, the Rebels will have a chance to take more time off the clock. They've got enough points to win the game. It's 6-0. A field goal here or any kind of offensive score by the Rebels should be enough. They go to Hendricks. He starts in, works the right side, cuts it back towards the middle on a great little move there as he put his foot in the ground and cut it left and pick up extra yardage there, did Hendricks. We haven't seen Cobb in a couple carries. And you can see here comes Cobb right here. So Cobb comes in with fresh legs, taps out, does John Hendricks. Here comes Cobb.
But before that play, Fisher has called his 2nd time out of the half, trying to preserve that clock. In this league, clock gets a little more generous if you're trying to chew it. Runs a little bit longer and more, and sometimes on incompletions. Until a 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning, the clock is perfectly timed as college and NFL is. But what a back-breaking penalty on 4th and 1, being offsides, giving him the free yards, not even making him earn that one. And Fisher is forced to use a timeout probably earlier than he'd like.
That's when you got to really, really focus on the D, and that's the discipline. Cactus Fuel, refueling tomorrow's athlete, official hydration drink for the Arizona Cactus Football League. Vegan and gluten-free, low sugar and low carbs. Visit them at cactusfueldrinks.com and get your fuel today. Special thank you to our sponsors all year long, Cactus Fuel, Sozo Therapy, Cactus Media X, and a special thank you to you, our global viewing audience, all season long. Special thank you from all the fellows here in the broadcast booth, for myself, Kevin Derryberry, alongside Cody Cameron, Lucas Metzer. Of course, Jesse has been in the mix, and all of our outstanding crew here tonight and throughout the season. We certainly appreciate you. 6-0, 3:34 to go. Rebels with the football on the Canes 26-yard line. Canes showing like they're coming. They do. They give it to Cobb, and he gets blown up in the backfield. How about the stick there by Dominic Brooks? So Brooksy gets there and blows up Cobb. Penalty marker comes in, and the running Rebels are high-fiving one another and clapping their hands. They think this penalty is going to go against the Canes, and they think it's going to be a 15-yarder. We'll turn it over to Pat Wyszkowski. Here's Pat. Either way, it's going to be against the Canes.
Can't have that. Simply unacceptable at this phase of the game, and that could likely cost the Arizona Canes their entire season.
I don't know if Brooks was disqualified on the play, but we hadn't said his number very much. But Dominic Brooks is an absolute beast, coming off a 7-tackle game, double fours, and he might have got tossed. I don't know if he was DQ'd there, but it's a 15-yard penalty, another back-breaking penalty for the Canes. And there's no better way to explain their demise here tonight. It's just self-infliction. The Rebels have played nearly a perfect football game, but the Canes defense has been top-notch, but they have just made too many mistakes. So now the Rebs inside the red zone. This is going to be Eddie Fluker to the outside, and Fluker looking for blocks. Pick up a yard or two. 3:09 to go in this one. It's 6-0 Rebels, Lucas.
Forcing them out of bounds right there. Kind of a clutch play for the Canes. That one will actually stop the clock, and a clock that has been moving and moving very generously for the Rebels for the last few minutes.
Tim Smith out of that secondary position coming up in run support out of one of the cornerback spots. You would think that Charles Adams would not even throw the football for the remainder of this game. We know about the pick six ability and the defensive prowess, all the takeaways, and it's difficult to throw on this Canes secondary. But at this stage of the game, you have a chance to maybe try for three and seal the deal, but it's Abdullah to Cobb. He runs at an angle to the left side. Ball comes out late, and the whistles had blown. Trumaine Smith will pick it up for good measure, and we will be faced with a third down and at least 9. 2:35 to go. Clock is stopped. Rebels have the lead and the football.
Yeah.
So the Canes take the timeout, Lucas. I believe they've got at least one left, maybe two at most.
They have expended them all. That will be it, but I think James Fisher knows what he's doing. He's got a big third down coming up. The Rebels don't have a designated kicker. I don't know what they will do, if they're going to try and send out a unit for the short field goal that would surely seal everything, or if they're going to make this 4-down territory and try and bleed the clock dry.
While you're providing that top-notch analysis, I have the ISO cam on Mr. Orange Man down there, and it continued to just kind of monitor the threads. And you gotta give that man an awful lot of courage to wear that type of outfit. I mean, really, he's not on the aquatic team here. He's not on the swim team. Those are straight up. I don't even know what you call. That's not a leotard, is it?
Jumpsuit.
It's
probably
an orange
full-body jumpsuit at best.
and it looks like everything is kind of contoured, and I don't know if that's the right look. We're myself, but either way, 2:35 to go. Running Rebels have the lead. And a shout out to our guy Zachary Elvira. If ZA could get it done tonight, he'll be playing in the championship game next year. And for Zach, he'll be making a bid for back-to-back championships here in the AZCFL. But the Canes have a chance to have their final say here. 3rd down and 9 from the 13-yard line for Akil Abdullah. Full wide receiver package. Abdullah's going to throw the football. He torches over the back of the end zone. The ball is incomplete. Abdullah wanted Tariq Smith Sr. in the back end line. And I do like that call. They wanted to go for 6. They were looking for the dagger. And they made a throw that was a safe throw, if you could even make that kind of statement.
I do respect that throw. A nice corner route to the back pylon. Not likely going to be intercepted if placed in the right spot. Had a small chance. Didn't happen, but better safe than sorry. And now we are going to get a field goal attempt, I think, to try and seal this one. So I don't think whoever is out there is a kicker by trade or design, but he has a chance to become a huge hero right here for this South Phoenix Runnin' Rebels team.
Stefan Spino from the 22-yard line. This would be a 32-yard field goal attempt in between the hash marks. Snap is back. Placement's down. The kick is on its way, and the kick is wide right. He missed it. And the Canes still have a shot at this football game. With 2 minutes to go, they will have a fresh set of downs. They get the football on the missed field goal opportunity. That would have been the dagger for the Rebels. And now this Runnin' Rebel defense is going to be asked to make yet another couple of plays here to seal the deal. But yet, if you're James Fisher, you get to put your guy and your playmakers on the field one more time with a chance.
Not only a chance to tie, but because of the lack of special teams, because of the way this one's going, because of we know the consistency of the leg on Luke Trudy on that Canes sideline, this is a chance for an all-or-nothing, win or lose, final drive. It doesn't get much more exciting than this. All the marbles, a chance to the championship game on the line.
It's KP Provji. Snap is back. He throws over the midfield. The ball is going to be caught by Phil Ross. And for Phil Ross, now they're going to wave it off. Oh, let's see. No. Looked like one official might want to wave that off. Great catch there by Phil Ross. All hands on that one as he was able to be strong enough to lift that ball off the turf and then fall forward. We'll call it a gain of 13.
What an amazing catch. Grabbed it, secured it, and keeps the sticks moving.
Provji from the 32-yard line. Outside ball. It's caught by Kevin Godot. Correction. That is Joseph Parker Jr. making his second reception of the football game, the second time that he was targeted. And that is going to be another 12-yard. Check that. That's going to be a 15-yard pass play. KP Provji to Joseph Parker Jr. Working right to left with 1:41 to go. 6-0 Rebels. The Canes have the football on their own 45-yard line. Goodell lines up to the near side. In the slot to the left, it's Joseph Parker Jr. Alonzo Simpson is going to come back this way. Phil Ross all by himself with Fluker across from him on the far side of the football field. Now Fluker will give him about 10 yards. Provji has a chance to run it. He wants to throw the football. Sidesteps one defender. He throws. The ball is going to be picked off. It's intercepted by the Runnin' Rebels to the near sideline. And this is the stud defensive back who's made huge plays all game. Dwayne Phillips is going to seal the deal. Penalty markers come in.
Unreal ending, and that is how the Canes season is going to go down, crashing and burning in, I wouldn't say crashing and burning in flames, but this isn't the way we pictured it. The team that has been giving the shutouts week after week has finally been shut out themselves.
It is crazy. We mentioned the 10 combined shutouts for both teams. For the Runnin' Rebels, they're looking to pick up their 5th shutout of the season. And you have to credit the defensive back, Dwayne Phillips, back there playing in that secondary position as a safety with the interception. The pressure came in. Provji got blasted as he threw the football down the field. I thought Provji was going to run the football, pick up about 20 extra yards, run out of bounds, and relax the play on. But he took a chance there, and he gambled and he lost.
With his speed, it's quite surprising the amount of times that KP has elected to throw instead of throw away or scramble. And I think that's why Akil Abdullah became the winning QB tonight. His decisiveness was a lot better than KP's, in my opinion, and that was the difference.
Now, I wouldn't say that either one of these offenses was going to go out and light the world on fire, but the defenses for both teams have played well enough to win this football game. No question about it. Both of these defenses are championship-type defenses. No question. But the offenses still have a lot of work to do. They'll always preach that defenses win championships. I like to think there's more balance there, but a high-power defense usually has a chance to win over. And this Running Rebel defense, they are playing well right now.
Indeed. Take out that knee there. They'll have to take a few more, but they can feel the excitement and anticipation begin. Their ticket date is punched 2 weeks from today. Big championship coming up. It'll be Outlaws and Running Rebels.
The Arizona Outlaws and the South Phoenix Running Rebels are 62 seconds away. I know that there's some chirping going on from one sideline to the next, but as we've seen many, many times in the handshake line, you want to stick around for that. Some emotion starting to boil over on the Cane sidelines, just some composure. And for the Running Rebels, they came here tonight to Bellbank Park with the mindset to kick a little tail, and they got things done. They'll win their 7th straight game. The last time the Rebels lost was April 2nd to these same Canes. It was 10-6. And the Running Rebels came here tonight to the Bellbank Park, and they came here with an attitude to do some damage. And now, there is Trumaine Smith that took the line, and he jumped over the line. Be cool here. Just be cool, fellas. Win with class, lose with dignity. It's now the Running Rebels. You see Hendricks down there saying, hey, just get off the field. We don't want any nonsense. And quite frankly, for Trumaine Smith, that was unnecessary to leap over the line of scrimmage there and take a shot at the quarterback. I get it. It was your last hurrah. I love the hustle. I love the way that you played the defense tonight, Mr. Smith. I thought you were outstanding 5. You were one of the better players out here. Be smart, be cool. And now the handshake line commences here. And they begin to play the music, Lucas.
Yep, that means this one has been put to bed in the books. The championship teams and date is set. You're not going to want to miss it. 2 weeks from today. I know Kevin will have you on the play-by-play. Color remains to be seen, but it's going to be an exciting one. You're going to want to tune into it. 2 really stout defenses and elite running games are going to come to a head on June 4th here at this field.
The number 3 seed get it done in upset-minded fashion. They knock off the 2-seeded Arizona Canes. They shut them out 6-0. It was Akil Abdullah with an 8-yard touchdown run. And that first quarter, that was enough for Charles Adams' football team to TCOB. They took care of business. They got things done. And now when you see these guys lay it out on the field this way, and it's about palm pressing, the handshakes, the hugging, and just congratulate one another for a well-played football game. A lot of defense. I mean, you talk about playmakers galore. You just don't see a 6-0 football game very often. We were treated to a defensive delight here, and both these secondaries, you don't want to. You want to throw on either one of these guys. Hopefully, these guys get out of here healthy. Everyone's able to maintain their cool, and the date is set. The South Phoenix Running Rebels improved their record to 10-2. They face the Arizona Outlaws 2 weeks from tonight, right here at the Bellbank Park here from the Legacy Sports Complex. It's the 2022 AZCFL Championship game as the Running Rebels will take on the Arizona Outlaws. Ben Williams, Azure McMillan, the rest of this incredible football team, Rico at the quarterback position, and the guys we've seen here tonight for the Running Rebels. We'll see Akil Abdullah on display, Caleb Cobb, that run game, and we'll get to see our guy, Zachary Elvira, in the championship game in back-to-back years.
Down in the trenches, yeah, getting the gritty work done. I'm very excited 2 weeks from today, getting to watch Ben Williams run the football against this team. It's, an incredible defense coming against probably the league's best rusher all around. And I got to say, before we get into Outlaws Rebels real quick, it was the day of the upset. I mean, I can't lie, just as a thought, I thought it was going to be Kane's Spartans. Those teams seem to be the best throughout the year. I thought they were going to get it done and meet in the championship, and both of them kind of stunned today by two well-rounded football teams who probably just wanted it a lot more.
We talk about the coaching, the discipline, the preparation to get into this game, and not only to get here, but then to play in this game and then play well. We see a lot of mistakes throughout the contest that we've been able to broadcast this year, but there's so much room for improvement. But the ideology, the coaching is strong, the passion is stronger, and the fact that these guys have this will to come out here, continue to try to improve their own personal games, get better, and play for a championship here in the AZCFL, and the Running Rebels have a chance to defend their crown. It will be outstanding. June 4th is the date. Go ahead, save that date. We'll have all the action for you about 6:45. We'll bring it to you pregame with our outstanding broadcast crew. For Christian Klein down there on the field, for Maxwell Volcone, and for the man at home making it happen, we appreciate Mr. Matt Archer. And for you at home, our global viewing audience, for my guy to my right, Lucas Messner, I'm Kevin Derryberry. It's been a pleasure. The pleasure has been all ours. Until next time, so long for now. Whereas it went final here tonight, the Running Rebels have a chance to defend their AZCFL championship next week. Make it 2 weeks from tonight, June 4th. Good night.